Welcome back, everybody, to the 6-day Advanced Water Fasting Challenge. And understand this, if this is just your first time here, hey, thanks for joining us. And if you've already tried to do the challenge, just know something. Every time you repeat something, it's going to get better. It really, truly is. Remember something, you're always coming up against your subconscious. And once you get it into your subconscious and then you get it into your conscious mind, which is your body, then it just becomes like natural, okay? It's just like when you go to the washroom, you don't think about it. It's like most of the things in life we don't need to think about if we repeat them enough. So let me say this, that if you remain patient, you will no longer be somebody's patient. Did you get that? So be patient with yourself, okay? And don't judge yourself. Observe yourself and see what you can do during this 6-day Advanced Water Fasting Challenge. And never feel like you're a failure. If you have to quit the fast, that's okay. But the reality is we give you so much support during the fast, okay? So understand, take a deep breath because that's where we're going to start. We're going to learn to do the lion heart breathing. And if we do the lion heart breathing throughout the day as often as we can remember while we're doing the fast, or it doesn't have to be during a fast. Listen, I practice lion heart breathing all the time, in the car, in the bathroom, going up the stairs. It doesn't matter, because when you connect to your breath, you connect to your power, you connect to the present moment, and that's what fasting is all about. When you're in the present moment, that's the only point of power. If you're in the past or you're in the future, hey, then you've just spread yourself out. How can we be in 2 time zones at once? You can't. You can't be here and be over there. You got to be here. And if you're totally here, then you'll have totally all the energy that you need to pull off this 6-day Advanced Water Fasting Challenge. So thank you again for coming, for showing up. And guess what? When we show up, we can grow up. And the only way that we can grow is consciously. All right? We could grow physically, but we don't want to grow out this way, do we? Okay? And we don't want to shrink, do we? Because actually, you don't shrink. You just turn into beef jerky because we don't know how to get rid of the inflammation. We become an inflammation nation, and that's why we're learning how to do all these techniques, because we're going to take our life back. We're going to take our power back. Okay? Become your own practitioner. So why do we want to do a water fasting challenge? Because it releases more stem cells than anything else. And why do you want to do an advanced one? So understand, when I tell you guys that, you know, if you take this product or do this, it's going to make it easier, please don't feel that you have to purchase anything from the Doc of Detox. You can do strictly just a water fast challenge. Okay? You don't have to do structured water. You can do any water that you want. You don't have to buy my products. You can buy someone else's. The reality is, take what you want, because I'm giving this to you, this information, and whatever fits for you and works for you. There's so many ways to the top of the mountain, and guess what? The reality is I'm here for you, and that is it. I'm here for you. You can call in your questions, because what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to show you the external therapies, the internal therapies, and I'm going to show you the exercises I'd like you to do throughout this 6-day Advanced Water Fasting Challenge. Do whatever you want, but remember something. Do you think that you could be selfish enough to know what you need to become really healthy? And it's not selfish. Understand something. Do you think that you could be centered enough in yourself? And I didn't say self-centered, and it's not selfish. If you don't know your own needs, then you'll never create the perfect day. You'll never become the light for your family. And guess what? You'll be a chaotic mess, emotionally and physically. So let's get started. The first thing you want to do is the lion heart breathing. So whenever you can think about how you can bring your shoulders back and sit your shoulders back here, that would be great. You can put your chin up just slightly, just slightly. Then pretend that there's a string attached to your solar plexus going up to the sky, okay? Keeping your chest out, okay? And then wear a slight smile. Do you want to know why? Because in case I need to find you, I want you to leave smiles wherever you go. And understand something. How does it feel to make other people smile? How does it feel to make other people feel good? No, I think you should have a frown, okay? Wherever you go, make everybody miserable. No. Listen to me. Mind your own business, and your business is your joy, your happiness, and your power. And you can only have that in the present moment, and that's why I'm going to teach you the lion heart breathing. So what you're going to do is shoulders back, chin slightly up, chest out, put a slight smile on your face, and I want you to connect to your breath and take 6 seconds in and 7 seconds out. If you can't do 6 seconds, don't worry about it. 4 seconds. Eventually, it's going to be better. Don't beat up on yourself. Your subconscious is going to do one thing to you while you're doing this fasting challenge. You know what it's going to be? I'll tell you what it's going to be. You're a loser. No, you're not. Understand, to become an Olympian, you got to practice over and over and over again. To know a poem, you got to practice over and over again. You know what? I've been 40 years at this. So don't look at me and go, wow, look at how easy it is for him. Yeah. Do you know how many times I fell? Okay. Do you know how much I went through hell? Okay. We've all done it. All right. But understand, you need to now own it. So we're going to take 6 seconds in and we're going to do it slow, and we're going to really come into our core, because your core is where your energy is. So let's do this. And then we're going to hold for a second. And then we're going to let go. And every time that you feel anxiety, every time that you feel stress, all you got to do is put a slight smile on your face and just connect to the lion heart breathing. And if somebody's trying to demand an answer from you, hey, what's the rush? What's the fuss? Hey, hold on. I'll give you your answer in a second. First, I got to put a slight smile on, and I got to connect to my breath so that I don't tear your head off or mine. Okay? So let's always try to find that calm and peace. And remember something. If I was you, I would set your telephone clock to go off every 5 minutes if you are somebody that's full of anxiety. And guess what? And when it goes off, and it goes off with that nice little ding or a little bit of sound, it's going to bring you back to the present moment. You want to ask yourself right then and there, am I here right now, or am I in the past, or am I in the future, or am I here right now connected to my breath? Because if you are, you're going to be enjoying the moment. And here's the deal. They don't want you in the present. I need you in the present. I need you to take your life back. I need you to take your power back, because together, teamwork makes the dream work, and we'll take this planet back. Wait a minute, Darrell. I thought we were just doing a 6-day advanced water fasting challenge. No, not really. I'm trying to show you that you have unlimited potential. And I want to show you that you're much more than you thought you were. And that is the whole deal. Okay? So practice the 6 seconds in, 7 seconds out. You can hold it for a second or 2 seconds, or you can just let it, just do the rhythm. Just get that rhythm going and keep coming into that. Every time you feel anxiety, shoulders back, slight smile, get into the lion heart breathing. Now, can I have the belly button therapy, please? This is something that you always want to do. And you want to do this first thing in the morning. So before you even open up your eyes, okay, it's right beside you, right here on the counter. You're going to grab it. You're going to bring it over. And you're going to take it and understand something. I need you to do this for me. You can go to the DIY guide and you can watch how to do belly button therapy properly. You can do it while you're laying down. You don't have to stand up. And understand something. You may not know this, but belly button therapy is going to unleash 70% of your serotonin, 50% of your dopamine. And after you've done this for 5 to 7 minutes, did you know that you'll have 20 to 25% more stretch in your body? Wow. Isn't it amazing how chemicals and hormones move at the speed of light to create that kind of elasticity in your body? Well, now you don't have to wake up stiff. And the reality is this. Hey, I woke up on the wrong side of bed, eh? Well, you don't need to do that. Somebody just made that up. I want you to do your belly button therapy, connect to your lion heart breathing, and I want you to focus on the way you want your day to go. And I want you to understand something. If you hit a bump in the road, or somebody in your house tries to do drama trauma, because that's what we do, right? You're just going to stay connected to your breath, slight smile, and go, if it's any of your business, then you will partake, but you will not react. You'll take action. And if it's none of your business, you'll say, I know you can handle that, and then you're going to leave, okay? Because that's how you're going to be able to learn how to honor and respect yourself. So, with the belly button therapy, you're going to start, and you're going to gently just go easy. And some people say, oh, I've got a hernia. Do you know how many people have an inguinal hernia? Do you know how many people have cramping and gas and all kinds of problems down here? Well, guess what? That's right. You've been trained to attack your abdomen. You've been trained to attack and undermine your large intestine. That's why you've got so much gas. That's why you've got so much pain. But just start off gentle. Okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to do it clockwise. But first you're going to go directly in. Then you're going to face it down and you're going to come up, right? And we're going to go clockwise. If you don't own one of these, okay, you'll want to get one. And if you want to make your own, go ahead. But I got a little belly button buddy on the end so that I don't damage my little belly button, okay? So be gentle. And like I said, go into the DIY guide, and it will show you how to do the belly button therapy. And when you order these, you'll actually get a brochure that shows you how to do this. So you're going to go clockwise. So we're going to go from down here. And when you do this, you might feel a pull in your groin. Oh, yeah. Okay, then we're going to go this way from the leg up to the arm. And guess what? You may feel a pull because you might have a cyst. You might have scar tissue in here. Or you might even feel a pull from your hip area or from your intestine having an adhesion. Be gentle. But you know what? Make it work a little bit. Okay, and then we're going to go right from the side. Okay, then we're going to go from the top and we're going to go down. Okay, so you might feel a pull from up in this area if you've had heartburn a lot, or if there's adhesions in your small intestine, or if there is around the top of your ribs or around your liver flexure or around your splenic flexure or around your stomach, you might feel a pull. Then you're going to go from shoulder down to leg, and you're going to pull down this way. Then you're going to go from the side, and you're going to go in, okay? And then you're going to go leg to shoulder again, and then you're going to start and go right from up from the bottom and pull, and then you're going to go here, and we're done. And guess what? Okay? This is how I do it. Now, you don't have to do it like this, but look how deep I go. I go almost back to my spine, and that is what you'll be able to do when you're healthy, because healthy people aren't in pain. Healthy people do not bruise. Healthy people, okay, do not feel like they're going to blow up. Okay, so that's the belly button therapy. So go to DIY, the do-it-yourself guide, in the library, and I've already done a video to show it. And when you order it, you're going to get a brochure anyways, okay? So there's the lion heart breathing, the belly button therapy, and guess what? The lion heart breathing, you're going to continually do that throughout the day. Keep on trying to remind yourself. If you could get sticky notes, put them in the bathroom, put them in the car, okay? Put them in the kitchen, put them everywhere, okay? Lion heart breathing. Okay? Present moment. Focus on your desires, because whatever you focus on, you will get it. Trust me. Do not let anyone distract you. This is a test. This is a test to see how good your focus is. Okay. Now, after you've done your belly button therapy, and you're connected to your breath, okay, so if you're the type of person and you have enough time, you're going to want to do skin brushing, okay? So what we're doing now is I'm going to be showing you the external therapy things that you can do. Now, the skin brushing is pretty simple. You see, there it is, okay? It's got a nice long handle. And when you skin brush, you'll see that I am really when I go hard, okay? Now, you're going to find on people that never skin brushed before, it's going to look like there's a blizzard. That's all that dead skin cells. Hey, do you know how you walk through your house and you go, whoa, look at the dirt? Not really. That's grandma. That's your baby. That's everybody else in the family sloughing off their dead skin cells. Well, the reality is, if it's all about circulation. Your skin is your largest detox organ. So I tell you, if you want to get my Healthy 100 book free, you can call. We'll ship it out. You pay the shipping. We'll send you the book. It's an amazing book. You can go and look at Beautiful Skin. That's the chapter. It's in the back, and you can read about it. But what you're going to do is a circular motion. Start off at your feet, and you're going to work your way up all throughout your body, and you're going to go in a circular motion, and you're going to go as hard as you can, because if you're not making yourself pink, then you're not bringing the circulation to the surface. I don't know if you'll see. You see a little bit? See a little bit of dust? Okay? All right? And I skin brush a fair bit, so it's always coming off. Look at, if you don't want to have chicken skin, alligator skin, if you don't want to look old, okay, then why don't you bring the blood supply in here so you can get the nutrition in and the toxins out, because your skin is the largest detox organ, and your skin, okay, is an actual reflection of the health of your large intestine. So how's the skin that you're in, okay? So we're going to do the whole body. We're even going to do our face. We're going to do our breasts. We're going to do everywhere. So get yourself your own skin brush. You can get it from us or not, But the reality is this is a real tough bristle brush. Remember, this is the brush that Mom used to use to probably scrub the floor. My mother used to use one, and that's how tough this is. And understand something, I don't pussy around, all right? You'll start off gentle, but I'll go really tough on my face, on my neck, I have soft baby skin, all right? And that's what it's all about. You know what? You got to love yourself well. You got to pamper yourself. Oh, I don't have time for that. Well, no, actually, it's not that you don't have time. It's just that you run beliefs that give you no time to love yourself well because you've been taught that everybody else is going to love you well. How's that working for you? How's that working for you? So there's skin brushing. And I'm not going to go through everything because we would be here for a long time. And I've got to do the Q&A today with you as well. So everybody right now, understand, start sending in your questions right now. And I will be answering all the questions on the Q&A, whether it's about external therapy, internal therapy, the advanced water fasting challenge, coffee enemas, what your conditions are, whether you should be doing it. And some of them I won't be able to answer because maybe your doctor will have to answer. Because the reality is, okay, some of the things I just can't answer. And if I can't answer it, I'm going to do it for you, okay? The next thing we're going to talk about is this. Here's the deal. Your skin is so important, and it's all about microcirculation. Did you know that 24% of your body is macrocirculation? That would be what? Veins and arteries. 76% is microcirculation. And the microcirculation is going to tell you what you're going to die of, how long you're going to live. It is not about telomeres. It is not about genetics. And let me tell you something. That whole genetics thing, they proved that wrong. That's a bunch of BS, and that's a dysfunctional belief system because it's not genetics, it's epigenetics. It's upstairs. This is where it all starts, okay? Who's running your programs, and what are those programs? Let's see the Epsom salts. So what I did was I went to Costco, got a big container of Epsom salts, poured it in. Then I took my structure unit, okay? You don't have to do that. Nope, just this. I took the structure unit. It's called the Doc of Detox structure unit, and you don't have to use structured water, but you can research it. I don't want to get into it because you can go to my book, The Healthy to 100, or you can go to the library and click on the structured water guide, and you can read about it. But anyways, I put structured water in here, and then I wet the Epsom salts down to the consistency of beach sand. Now, while I was doing that too, I went layer on layer, and I put lots of muscle restore and pain away in, okay, which are essential oils. Now, I'm going to show you on my hand how to do it, but you want to, when you do the Epsom salt glow, you want to scrub your whole body. And let me tell you something. When I'll do skin brushing. I'll do the skin brushing first. Then I will do the Epsom salt glow. And after I do the Epsom salt glow, what do? I'll tell you what I do. Then I have a sauna. And whether you believe this or not, if you do the skin brushing properly, and then you do an Epsom salt glow, and then you have a shower, and then you have a sauna, you will sweat 1,000% more. That's 10 times more. That's 1,000% more, and you will detoxify so much easier. Yeah, that's true. You got to unleash the power. So let me just show you a little bit. So I'm going to take a little bit of Epsom salts, right? And you can see it here. And what you're going to do is you're going to do every joint, right? And see the ringing I do? And so I'm going to do that with every one of my fingers, especially, what about you guys with the rheumatoid, so-called rheumatoid arthritis? Arthritis just means pain and inflammation in your joints, which is just scar tissue, and that was caused from so much inflammation. Understand, everything is reversible. With doing this and using Wolfe non-surgical and clapping, we can reverse pretty well anything under the sun without surgery when it comes to things like this. All right? And then you can take it and you can do your wrists. And when you do you can do the top of your hand. You can also go in here and do in between, do your fingers, okay? And you can take it and go like this and do your hands, do everywhere. But then you're going to do the ringing on your elbows. You're going to scrub really well everywhere. And you're going to do that to your feet, your ankles, your knees. You're just going to go everywhere. And you're going to go behind your knees, and you're going to go where your lymph nodes are, and you're going to go just as tough. Do you understand me? You're going to get the circulation going. What do they teach you? Don't touch your lymph nodes. Yeah, right. That's just great. No, don't touch them. Let them get all clogged up and swollen, okay? So anyways, that's called an Epsom salt glow. Now, if you could hand me the cup and the cayenne, please. Do not do this all over the body, but you can take 1 cup of Epsom salts, right? And with the Epsom salts, what did I tell you to do? Well, I told you to get the Epsom salts, wet it down to the consistency of beach sand, and then you're going to then put essential oils in like Muscle Restore or Pain Away, and then you're going to put 1 teaspoon, this is called African cayenne, you don't have to get ours, you can get any one you want. You're going to get get cayenne, not African, just get your cayenne, make it easy. Get a level teaspoon of cayenne, put it into 1 cup of Epsom salts, mix it well, and guess what you're going to do? Well, you know those areas where you have scar tissue? You know those areas where they said you have arthritis or you need knee replacement or you've got gout before? You know, the tough areas with the crystallization, the displaced calcium, and the scar tissue. Or you had surgery, like you had a cesarean, or wherever there's that tough scar tissue, if you've been in a car accident. And you're just going to take a little bit of that Epsom salts with the cayenne mixture, okay, and you're going to scrub that area. So you can scrub cellulite, you can scrub fat, but look at it. Please don't get me wrong, and I mean this in the nicest way, but if you have a lot of fat all over your body, please don't do that because you're just going to go crazy with the heat. So we're only going to do love handles, okay, spare tire, maybe arthritis in the knee, or carpal tunnel syndrome, or just do our fingers, okay? This is going to help you with your fast. You know what? You know how people say, I don't want to fast because every time I do, I have a healing crisis. Well, you're not going to have a healing crisis if you get the cork out of your butt and you get the circulation going throughout your system. And remember, every joint in your body is like the bend in a river. Where does the garbage settle? It settles in the joints. So we're going to make sure that we own. We're going to skin brush really well. We're going to do the salt glow really well. And like I said, if you have a sauna, turn that sauna on, do your skin brushing, do your salt glow, right? And then have a shower. And if you can hand me the shower, please. And understand something, guys. I'm just going to tell you the truth. You don't have to get mine, but this is called a structure unit. It's not a filter, so it never wears out, never breaks down. It's guaranteed for life, all right? And you never have to replace anything, and it's a Dock of Detox shower. Now, here's the deal. Are you ready for this? We'll give you a 90-day money-back guarantee on all of our stuff, like the portable structure unit or this. But here's the deal. Did you know that if you take a hot shower, it's got, let's say it's got chlorine in it, okay? Let's say it's got fluoride in it. Okay. Did you know if you take a 10-minute hot shower that's the same as taking 20 glasses of water for the chlorine and fluoride that you're going to take into your skin and into your bloodstream and into your lymph? Yeah. So let's wake up. So if you're going to do the skin brushing, do the salt glow, then you better have only a short shower if you do not have protection. Because as far as I'm concerned, a shower is a gas chamber if you don't have something like a structure water unit. Okay? All right. Now, when you go to do your sauna, if you are going to do a sauna on a fast, don't stay in there long enough that you're going to feel what? That you're going to feel weak and tired. So make sure that you do things like ATP. Make sure that because the ATP is going to give you energy, but it's not going to turn on your digestive tract, because ATP, what it does, this is the only organic ATP in the world, and what it does, it creates more ATP and it helps to repair mitochondria, and it'll bring up your energy level. And what it does, it bypasses the Krebs cycle. If it didn't bypass the Krebs cycle, it would turn on your digestive tract, and then the fast wouldn't go great, because we don't want to turn on our digestive tract during a fast, because we take all that energy for autophagy to go in and eat all the cells we don't want and get rid of the scar tissue, and to create lots of energy to actually heal and restore, and to create stem cells, which, guess what? Stem cells, that's the key, isn't it? And we all know that. All right? Okay. And when you do your sweat, make sure, like I said, that it's better not to have it too hot. You're better to stay longer, and please sip fulvic acid and structure water if it's available. If not, make sure that you're just getting water, but make sure you're sipping it. Don't take tons of it. Just sip on it while you're in there, and make sure you hydrate when you go in, and make sure you hydrate when you come out. All right? And with the fulvic, you're just going to mix 1 teaspoon during this water fasting, 1 teaspoon with every liter or quart of water. And with the ATP, you can do just once a day or up to 6 times a day. And it's not going to turn on your digestive tract, but it's going to make everything run so much better. It's like, wow, where did I get this energy from? And I'm not going through all these symptoms that I usually do when I have a water fast. Okay. So, remember, I'm going to come back one more time, because I want to make sure you're not going to mess this up. Because I had a lady call me up and said, hey, guess what, Dr. Wolfe? And I went, what? She goes, yes, I'm overweight by 100 pounds, so I did the Epsom salt glow with the cayenne, and I did it all over my body, and now I'm just really hot, and I just can't, how do I cool down? And I said, it's spot therapy. So remember, it's just for the love handles, the spare tire, the scar tissue, the joint problems. That's it. So let's just start off gentle and see what it's like. Just do a little bit today and then see how you do. You know what happens? When the subconscious, when you go to do something new, the subconscious goes, yeah, get overzealous because I want you to screw up. I want you to feel like a failure and it's not meant for you because it's something new. Because our subconscious doesn't want anything new. So just gently go in. And when you're clear of mind and you're logical, write down where you want to be, what you want to see in your life, and don't let anything distract you. Preferably, don't let your brain do it, because your brain is the greatest terrorist to undermine your growth. Okay? All right, let's keep going. So now that we've done that, I would like to show you how to do the pelvic activation squats. Okay? Whoa. There's a mind blower. Okay? Because I'm going to tell you something. Your pelvis is the holy grail. Okay, your pelvis is the main energy port of the human body. Yeah, whoever said that? Come on, it can't be. Oh, yes, it is. And guess what? I want to tell you, you better start protecting it from all of these people out there that want to attack your large intestine and cause a cesspool of infection and inflammation that destroy your pelvis. Okay, tell me that people's pelvises aren't getting destroyed. I'm not going to get into that, but I do want you to do is I want you to watch, okay, the art, okay, of number 2. All right, the art of number 2 is a masterclass, okay, and it is an amazing masterclass, if I have to say so myself. And I want you to watch it, and it's coming out in 2 weeks. So watch when it comes up, and it's going to be playing for about 6 to 8 days. I'm not sure exactly how long it's going to take me to do this, but we're going to be doing a live masterclass for you, and then that masterclass is going to be going into the library. So if you can't watch it live, it's not going to stay on YouTube. You'll have to go to the library to get it, and it will be in the A to Z. It'll be in the A to Z masterclass guide, because that's where all our masterclasses are going. And guess what I'm doing? I'm building 7 masterclasses for you. Did you hear me? All right. It's time to unleash your God-given right to health. So now let's talk about the pelvic squat. So we know that people around the world will actually squat to go to the bathroom. Okay? They'll squat to go pee, they'll squat to go poo, but us, oh, we got the royal throne. We get to sit up here on the throne, that's right. And we can have our legs open, we can have them closed, but we're closed for business. Because when you squat, you open everything up like a flower, and you are going to be able to cleanse and dump easily. So understand something. You can keep your toilet, you can keep your throne, but the reality is, if you want to be the king of everything, then you're going to need to practice these squats at least twice a day. And understand, when you go to do the squats, if you can't do them like me, hang on to a chair, hang on to the table, hang on to the dresser. Whatever you need to support, it's not about how well you do, it's about showing up. And if you do these at least twice a day, within days to weeks, you're going to go, oh my gosh, I can't believe how much more flexible. My back pain's gone, my hip pain's gone, my knee pain, my ankle pain. I just feel younger. I feel more limber. And if you watch the Art of Number 2 Masterclass, which is coming out in 2 weeks, you're going to understand something. That if you get jammed up and you've got physical blocks in your lower abdomen and your pelvis, then you have just stopped the main light and information and communication that runs up your spine, in your spinal fluid, to your brain, to tell your brain what's going on with the rest of your body. Go figure. Isn't that something? So when you've got a coccyx problem, when you've got a spine problem in L4, L5, L3, L2, L1, or in your sacrum or in your coccyx, you got more problems than you can shake a stick at. So we got to get rid of that scar tissue beef jerky, that crystallization, and return the circulation. So when you do a pelvic activation squat, you're activating life. You are opening up the main grid. Okay, so let's show you how to do it. Okay? All right, so the first one, I'm going to climb up on my little pedestal. Now, the first one that we're going to be doing, okay, is called the pelvic activation hug. I need you to get this. Only do what you can. If you have to hang on to something, do it. If you can't squat down and you can only go that far, God bless you. It's showing up. Okay, the only way that you can grow is consciously, and you can't grow consciously unless you say, I got this. I'm going to do this. Okay, 3, 2, 1. I got this. I'm a brave heart. I got this. Okay, so here we go. So you're going to come down. Okay, come down slowly. And what you're going to do is you're going to hug, okay, like this. And this is called the pelvic activation hug. Now, whether you believe this or not, this is a little shaky up here, but this is how we had to do it to show you. Now, understand something. I will hold this for no less than 5 minutes. I will actually time it. Now, you've got to look ahead of you and pick a spot on the wall, and then stay connected to your Lionheart breathing and just focus on the spot. That's all you got to do. Focus on the spot. Now, what's going to happen here, I want you to breathe, and every time you're doing the Lionheart breathing, you're going to feel your lower back and your whole spine start to stretch out. You're going to feel your pelvis and your buttocks start to stretch out. You're going to feel even your ankles, okay? You're going to feel things in there. You might feel burning. You might feel some pain. And here's what we do. Are you ready for this? Welcome to America, where whenever you feel pain, you run away from it or you take a drug. What I want you to do right now is when you feel the pain, I want you to stay connected to your Lionheart breathing, and I want you to breathe the Lionheart breath down into that ankle, into that hip, into that knee, and watch what happens. You're going to breathe through it. Whenever we get pain in America, we contract. And when we contract, that's when we tear things. If you were to stay connected to your breath, you would open that up and you'd push through it. I need you to lovingly push through the pain. This is not about, oh, the runner who's limping and he's hurting. Come on, push through the pain. You finish that run. And then he destroys himself. This is different. So here we go. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but every time I did that, those 3 times, go back and watch the video, I kept sinking further. My back started getting longer. You're not getting shorter. The discs between your spine are becoming beef jerky, and you're losing circulation. Let's get it back. Okay? So. You may not notice this, but my ankles have just, my heels have just touched the bottom of this, even though I'm sunk in. Okay? So they're not going to at the beginning. It may take you a month, may take you 2 months, may take you 3 months at doing this. Okay? So this is called what? The pelvic hug. Why? Because you love yourself. So we're going to start off with this one. Okay? Then we're going to move on to the next one. Okay? So the next one is called the pelvic stretch. So reposition yourself. Okay? And then you're going to come down, and you see how my feet are just hip apart. Okay? Just hip apart. All right? Pants falling down. Uh-oh. Okay. So now, just hip apart, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down, okay? Right? And do this. Now, when I'm usually on the ground, I'm going to have my hands forward, and I'm going to sink them into the rug. You're better to have a rug than the floor, or it could be a wood floor, long as it's something that you can flat and your hands are going to stick there and grip, and you want to go a little bit more forward and forward. Now look what I'm doing. Okay, feet, pelvic are just the width of my pelvis. Okay, my hands are stretched out. And then I start my Lionheart breathing. Watch. Did you notice that I was able to get lower and lower and stretch out further and further? Be gentle. Don't push yourself too far. Let your breath be your guide to open you up like that beautiful flower that you are. And understand, like I said, I take 5 minutes for each of these. You could even go longer if you want. Now, some people are going to go, oh my gosh, I got a pain in here. Just try to breathe. Try to breathe through it. If you have to stop, I get it. Okay? If your feet starts to go numb and the circulation is being lost, breathe. Stay there. Just stay there. See how long you can stay there. When you can't do it anymore, then just stop and then shake it out. Okay? So this is the pelvic stretch. So when you're done, okay, just swing around, and let's say your feet have gone numb. Well, then just, okay, or let's say, okay, or loosen it up. Clapping is the key. Okay, you got to get the circulation going. Okay, so there's one more, and it's called the pelvic warrior. Okay, now we're ready for the pelvic warrior. Okay, so here we go. So again, we're going to start again. We're going to come up. Now, at the pelvic warrior, you're a little wider than your pelvis, and then you're going to move, okay? You're going to move your feet out a little bit. You see how my feet are just angled out a teeny bit? Okay, watch. I'm going to come down. It's a little tricky on this thing, but watch this. Then you put your elbows in here. Now, understand, that's the goal. It doesn't mean you have to get there, all right? You don't have to be there. You just have to show up. That's all I said. So if you can only do this, do this. If you can only do this, do this. Whatever you think you can do. But here's what you want to get to. The pelvic warrior. And then your back is straight. Your chin is up. And then what you do is you do the lion heart breathing. Now I'm going to do this for about 3 or 4 times. Watch how I start to sink because of my breath, not because I'm pushing down, because if you push down, you tear out. If you breathe, you open up. You have to get this. I don't know if you notice it, but my pelvis is opening more and more. So this is opening wider, and it's coming down maybe just even a tenth of a centimeter, but it's coming down with every time until my butt can actually drag on the floor. That's right. It can touch the floor or come this close to the floor every time I do it, and it's just going to keep opening up and opening up. And understand something. We need to open up. Okay? So that's the warrior. So understand this. The stiffer you get, the more you're unwilling to let go on an emotional and physical level. We have to learn to go with the flow, everybody. All right? Go with the flow. Don't try to change people. Change yourself. Go for the gold. It's inside here. Go for the gold. Whenever you get stressed, connect to your lion heart breathing. Touch your heart, so that you take your focus down from your mind and put it in your heart, because your heart knows everything. Your heart is expansive, okay? It's so expansive, all right? I like to call that the God spot. Just touch here and calm down. Do not let anybody stress you out. During this advanced water fasting, say no more than yes to the outside world. Say yes more than no to you. So that's kind of a reversal, isn't it? Okay? All right. So now that we've done that, I'm going to show the crab stretch now. Now, here's the deal. I'm trying to tell you, and you can believe it or not, that this is more powerful than yoga, and I'm telling you to stop your yoga, and it's more powerful than going to the gym. And I'm telling you that this will change your life. This will stop you from getting a cane, a walker, or a wheelchair, and going to the nursing home or having someone wipe your butt. And that's the deal. So now let's show you the crab, okay? All right, I'm going to move this. Okay. Now the crab stretch is something that I put together a long time ago, and I put the crab stretch together for my non-surgical therapists so that they wouldn't blow their necks out, blow their shoulders out, blow their upper back out, right? Because they're body workers, right? And guess what? Body workers usually don't look after their bodies. Isn't that something? Okay, so now let me just show you this. I'm going to show you a couple different angles. First thing is, you put your hands back, okay, as far as you can without feeling like you're going to tear out. Okay, does everybody get that? You're not going to go further than you can. You know what? What do we do when we start something? Okay, so spring comes and Dad, who's 20 pounds overweight, goes out and buys a new pair of Nikes, and he goes out for a 5-mile run or even a 2-mile run, and the next day he can't get out of bed and he never wants to run again. Okay, yeah. Let's use our common sense, all right? So now I'm going to come back. Now look at this. Get connected, put a slight smile on your face. Hey, do you know how important that is? You walk around with a slight smile on your face and you own the world. You got to get that. Yeah, but Darrell, you don't understand my life, man. I've got so much anxiety and depression and despair. Well, yeah, but guess what? You can't connect to the Lionheart breathing and have a slight smile on your face without being happy. Yeah, but I don't want to get happy because my life sucks. Yeah, I know, but you get what you focus on. Okay, we got that. All right, so now we're going to put our arms back as far as we can and go, look at this. Only do what you can do. So you see how I am right now? Okay, so now I'm going to breathe. So you can't tell me you don't see my arms sinking. You can't tell me my scaps are coming off of my back. My shoulders are opening up. My pecs are opening up. My neck and my shoulders, everything. Okay? So just hold. And if you think, okay, I feel like there's a little bit of pull there, just stay there. And don't let it go any further. And just stay connected to your breath. You don't have to do the deep breathing. Just light breathing. And then when you think you're ready and the pain is coming down, the burn is the calcium that's displaced, the crystallization. The scar tissue is the burn. Then start again. Now, I want you to show you something. Once you've done that and you think you've got that, okay, you see how both are bent? What you're going to do is now we're going to straighten, keep the right bent, and we're going to straighten the left. Look at how the left is. Look at how the right is bent. Now watch. I'm going to bring my neck over here like this, my head. If it hurts too much, keep it back like this or put it like this. You don't have to prove anything or hurt yourself. So mine feels comfortable like this because I have a knot right here. So I'm just going to lay it here because I like to just keep working on that. So my arm is straight, my left arm. My right arm is bent. Now watch this. And then I'll hold because there's quite the burn right now. And do you notice how I'm going lower and lower? Well, guess what? I do each of these moves for anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes. It depends on what I'm working on. Now I'll go and I'll do the other one. So I'll straighten the right arm, okay? And I'm going to bend the left arm. And we're going to go through the same thing. I don't think I need to really show you, do I? Okay? Now I'm going to show you something else. Once you've done both arms, what you're going to do, I'm going to show you on a bit of an angle here. So if you guys can get this shot, we're going to take our arms back like they were. And now we've got a really good stretch going, okay? So I'll put them back here. And what I'm going to do now, it's called the neck roll. Watch this. Right here I can feel a knot, and I'm going to go in here and I'm going to roll things out. This is how you massage your own neck. Go slow, really slow. Oh, I can feel a knot. So I'm just going to stay here, and I'm just, look at how much I'm moving. Not much, right? And I'm just going to go in there and work on that. Work on that. I'm telling you, you will feel some pain, some burn. Do not worry about it. You're not hurting yourself. Wait till you see when you're done the first time. You'll want to give me a big hug. And then when you do it again, and third and fourth, and you keep doing it, it's going to become easier. You're going to start getting your life back. Okay? Understand something. Whether you want to believe this or not, okay? Whether you want to believe this or not, okay? Do you know how many people have a cane, have a walker, have a limp? Let me tell you something. If you're limping right now because of your ankle, your knee, your hip, I'm going to give you a money-back guarantee if you come here that you're not going to. If you've got a cane right now, I'm going to give you a guarantee you're going to get rid of that cane. All right? And this is not about you coming here. This is about you telling you how amazing you are. If you've got a walker, you can get rid of that too. Now I'm going to say that there are going to be exceptions to the rule. And what are those exceptions, everyone? Well, let's put it this way. Whatever you focus on the most, you're going to get. And whether you believe this or not, if you've had a cane for 9 months, now you've got your third leg. Did you get what I just said? If you have a walker, now you've got your buddy, your pal. If you've got a wheelchair, now you're really in trouble, because guess what? You usually go from cane to walker to wheelchair, and now you have this thought that that's where you're going to be. And then what happens if you stay in there too long, you are going to lose your muscle tone. If you don't use it, you lose it. And that's what happens to people, okay? They lose their mind because someone else owns it, and then they lose their body, all right? So now I'm going to show you what I'd like to call, okay, all right, the occipital neck release. This is something I put together for people that have really bad necks. Now, did you ever hear of sacral cranial therapy? They put their fingers underneath and they breathe, they relax, they stay there. They can stay there for 15 minutes. How would you like to become your own therapist? How would you like to adjust your neck better than someone else does it? Okay? You can do it, and you need to give. Every night when I go to bed, almost every night and every morning, I do a little bit of occipital release, neck release work. I'm going to show you down on the mat right now. All right, now, you can pick, okay? You can pick whatever saucer you want. It can be smaller if you're shorter, if you're a shorter person, right? This is what I like. This is the size I like. And do you see how it's got little points on it? And well, because I like this. You can get just a round one. Oh, and you can get one that's a plate that's even thicker. And if it's a thin plate, oh, listen to this. So you ever hear of your Atlas and your Axis? That would be C1 and C2. And guess what? They're frozen, okay? I'll put $1,000 on the table. You can put $1, and I'm going to take your buck. Okay, that's it. Because everybody is stressed out today. Oh, no, you don't have shoulder pain. No, you don't have neck pain. No, you don't create anxiety for yourself, and neither does the world. Let me tell you something. When I was younger, I fell off a 30-foot building. 30-foot roof off a barn. And when I didn't bend my knees enough, I wrecked my neck up, I wrecked my knees. My ankles were dislocated for like about 4 or 5 months because my father didn't want to go and take me anywhere because it might cost money. So the reality is we kind of get messed up through life, through sports, through accidents, but you can turn this all around. Your body's the greatest healer. If you think you need drugs, if you think you need surgery, well, there is the problem. Now, am I telling you not to use drugs or surgery? No, you get to do whatever you want. The reality is I'm not going to. And I don't have to. And I haven't been using drugs, and I don't need surgery. I have never had surgery. Oh, well, I did. I had a vasectomy. There you go. I wish I didn't, but the reality is at that time, it was like, okay, we've got enough going on here. Okay, but the reality is I don't need surgery because of chronic, right, chronic health problems, because you only have chronic health problems because you don't know how to look after yourself. I'm here to show you because you deserve it. You know what? They took away your power. Let's just give it back. All right? So this is what I'm going to show you right now. I'm going to do a side angle, and then you guys let me know if you want to do another angle. So this is your occiput right here. You see how we call these the upper eyes of the body? Right here, there's like a ledge. Boom. Here's your occipital groove right here. This is C1 and C2. Now me, when I do it, I don't just go in between C1 and C2. I go between C2 and C3, and then I also go right up on these, what we will call upper eyes, okay, of the occiput where they stick out right here. And I also go underneath right here. Right under here. Oh, lots of tension in here, eh? This is where your vagus nerve runs down. Most people are frozen. And I'll actually put the plate right in here. And let me tell you something. Whether you believe this or not, I'll fall asleep with this thing. I'll fall asleep with my head, my neck on this, and wake up, and the plate will have gone in this deep. Oh my gosh, Dr. Wolfe, are you going to be okay? I'm more than okay, thank you very much. And yeah, so here we go. So you can have the plate facing this way, or you can have it facing this way. So the round going out or the round going in. And I will do both of those things, okay? So I'm going to go on a bit of an angle here. I'm going to place the plate in. Okay, so there's the first groove. See, I've got it in the notch. Now, like I said, if you feel pain or you're worried, just get yourself a little cloth and put it around the top of the edge. And, oh, look it doesn't hurt too bad. Oh, I'm not going to break my neck. Okay, that's good. Okay. So then you may want to take the cloth off and then get a thicker plate. Try that. But I like it thinner because I want it to go in between. So I'm going to connect to my Lionheart breathing. Okay. And I'm going to put a slight smile on my face. And I'm just going to focus on my breathing. And I'm going to focus on the plate going in and loosening up and taking the vertebrae and opening them up. That's what it's all about, opening everything up, right? And if you open up your vertebrae, you get the blood flow, the lymph flow, and you actually restore the discs in between. There you go. Who would have figured that one, right? So I'll have it here for a while, and then I'll take my head over this way. And look, don't do any more than you feel you're comfortable with. Do you understand? That's really important. And I'll have my head like this, and I'll be right into the corner. And if I feel a knot, I'll even take the corner of this plate and put it right up into the knot. And it'll be a bit of a burn, but I understand something. Pain is a GPS. Pain is my friend. Pain is not my enemy. I will not run from it. I will not create it. I will go in and breathe through it. And I will go in and release it. Because pain lets me know when I'm off track. Pain lets me know when I have a knot, scar tissue, displaced calcium, or crystallization. And I want free flow. I want to be 95 years old and do backflips still. Do you get that? All right? So you're only limited by your beliefs, and you're limited by the majority of the population that's already given up. I'm only getting started. Okay, so let's just relax. Let's just take it easy. And then let's come over here. And then we'll come right, and I'll show you how far. I've got my headset. That's a problem, but here. I'll come right underneath. You see? Right underneath. Look at this. Okay, and I'll just sit there, and I'll just relax. And for me, it doesn't burn. For you, it might burn. So just go easy. Nobody's in a hurry here. You know what? Did you ever see the snail on your porch? And you go, wow, there's a snail on my porch. Then you go inside. You do a couple things. Come out. Where'd that little snail go? Okay, just make gentle baby steps, but make sure you're moving forward every day, okay? I don't like when I hear people go, I'm in the process. Well, really? I don't see any movement. You'd have to live until you're 500 years old to get well, and that's not going to happen. So I'm going to go into this here. I'm going to go lower a little bit, and I'm also going to go right on. Look at this. You see this bump? Okay, that's above the occiput right here. And if there's like I can feel the tension, or I'm just going to be right here and I'm going to move it, right? Now, if I find a little bit of scar tissue or something, I'll just move very gentle. Do you see my head moving? And I could do that when my head is over like this. Okay, I could have it here and just go look at this. And just get in there. And I'll actually rock it back and forth too. Look. Just move it really slowly and just help it to come in. What's so bad about this, guys? What's so aggressive? Okay? There's nothing aggressive about it. Just be gentle, be loving. And then you can do your roll. Okay? Just play with it. Get to know it. It's like anything else in life. Take the time. Take the time to get to know how to do things. Okay? That's all I want you to do. All right? And don't do anything you don't want to do. But as time goes on, your subconscious will let you in, but your subconscious says, oh no, don't do that, don't do this. Remember this? Okay, don't get me wrong, but chiropractors own the spine, okay? All right? Okay? The dentistry owns your mouth, okay? All right? Are you ready for this? Surgeons own every part of your body that they can just take if they, you know what I mean? So the reality is, I own Darrell. I own Darrell, thank you very much. This is my mouth, right? This is my spine, and I'm going to look after it. And understand something. If you think that you're going to get a treatment that's going to make you feel great, you're only going to be good until the next treatment, and that's probably just next week. And if you want to keep on getting treated, you just might get mistreated. Okay? So now I've taught you that. Now, if I can have the clapper, please. Okay. So, let me come back here now. And I'll sit on this. All right. Whoa, something. My clip came off, and it just gave me a little thing up the butt. Okay? The clip. What? Okay. So now, guys, here's the clapper. This is the Doc of Detox clapper. You can order them online, just like you can order the other things I've talked about. But if you don't want to do that, you've got a hand. Oh, wait a minute. You've got two of them. You can start off with that and see how you like it. But the reality is, why don't you check out my master class, okay? And my master class for clapping, it's called Clapping for Health, right? Okay? Guess what? Check it out in the clapping guide in the library, or go to the A to Z Masterclass, because it's also in there as well, and start learning how to clap your body, okay? Why in the heck are you just waiting for someone else to get you well, okay? Because it's not going to happen, all right? You're with yourself 24 hours a day, okay? And you must become the master of your health. So you need to get that. So I want you to really take a look at getting into clapping. And understand something. If you're the type of person that's bruising all the time, easily, okay, when you bang into things, or even if you don't, already know something. You're in big trouble. But nobody's going to tell you that. But you're in big trouble already. You should be able to do clapping and never bruise, okay? And now, go take a look at the clapping guide if you want to learn more about that, okay? And I suggest to everybody that you take a look and do all of these things, because if you don't, you get to be like the normal person. Hey, guess what? I just went for my checkup. Really? How did it go? Guess what? The doctor said, I'm in great shape for a guy who's 50. Oh, that's great. Most of them have lost their teeth already, and they're already limping. Or they can't, or their sexual drive is already down, or they don't have enough energy, or they fall asleep, or, hey, how am I doing? Let me tell you something, whether you want to believe this or not, but the whole healthcare system every few years brings down the level of health for every age group. Oh, no? You don't believe me? Oh, yeah. Well, let's just take a 50-year-old man or 60-year-old man and go back about maybe 75 years. They probably put him in the hospital and keep him there. The reality is today, you actually think you're well if you're not in the hospital, even though 92% of the population has an autoimmune disease. Go figure. I'm not running it down. I'm just telling you that you could have a lot better life than you're living, and you deserve it. But you got to start practicing your smile. So let's talk about what we did. Now let's talk about external therapies, okay? So external therapies, meaning, okay, Can we have this? Nutritional. Okay, so why don't you give me the DMSO and both of them, please. So this is called DMSO gel and DMSO rose cream. This one's much stronger than this one. This one here you would use more on tissue, muscle tissue, and other parts of the body. But you're not going to use DMSO on your face. And you're also, when you use DMSO, don't touch your eyes with it. And understand, it's made from trees. It's not toxic. But what it does do is it'll make you feel a little bit itchy, and it will warm up. But what it does, it's a solvent. It goes in and helps to heat up things and helps to melt crystallization, helps to loosen up scar tissue, but it brings in the circulation. I've had people that had arthritis for years, and it would go away. So the reality is this is the two, and this one here is more gentle, and it's more like a moisturizer with DMSO. This one is like a gel. So you're going to put that on your body, and then what you can also do is use essential oils. Can I have the 3 of them, please? Now, so when you're in pain, you want to use Pain Away. And understand, you can use Pain Away, and you only need like 2 or 3 drops to put on a certain area of the body. And guess what? You can do it every 15 minutes. It's not toxic, guys. It really isn't. Essential oils are just the essence of nature. That's what it really is. And I'm going to tell you something. All our essential oils come in Egyptian glass, which means that they'll last an extra 3 to 5 years longer, and they're protected from radiation, okay? Any type of sun damage, anything like that. All right? So that's the Pain Away. The next one, okay, that we're going to talk about is peppermint. Now, let's say you're in excruciating pain. Peppermint is one of the best things for overriding pain. Okay, but when you put peppermint on, you can't have a cool breeze because then it'll feel like chilly. So you can put peppermint on and just have the area covered if it's more like muscles. But if it's joints, you don't have to worry about it because it's just going to really help to override any pain. And understand something. Essential oils don't hide the pain. They help to increase the frequency because everything's about frequency. So not only does it help to reduce the pain right away, but it's not a drug. It's reducing the pain by increasing the healing, okay? The next one I want to talk about, all right, is Muscle Restore. Oh my gosh. This one is the one that I love to use the most. This one here actually smells like it could be a cologne for men or women. When a woman puts it on, it smells like it's perfume. When a man puts it on, because the different hormones mix with the Muscle Restore, it does. It smells like a cologne, but Muscle Restore is to heal tissue and to keep it healed. And you can put it on your neck, you can put it on your throat, you can put it on anywhere that you need. And understand something. Again, this is to help people out that are open to this. Don't feel that this is a commercial about products, and don't feel you got to buy my products. Get your essential oils wherever you want, get your products wherever you want, and just understand something. I'm here to support you. That's it. So we're going to answer your questions, and we're going to support you, and then do what you think is best for you, and that's all I want you to do. Okay? Can you hand me the Pain Away spray? So this is something that this is a fulvic, okay? This is a fulvic product, and it is for pain. So what we do is we can use this and spray this on different painful areas of the body, and it'll help to draw the pain out, okay? Simple as that. And you can spray it anywhere, and you can spray it as often as you want. None of my products have any toxic value to them, so I really need you to get that. So that's really important, okay? The next thing I want to talk about is the things that you can do orally. Now remember something, I already said, do whatever you want. I would never do distilled water, reverse osmosis water, or just plain old filtered water for a fast, because that is like really hard way to go here. Okay, I'd be looking for some more energetic water than that, and a better water that hydrates and actually detoxifies, but do whatever you want. We're here to support you. But for those of you who believe in what I'm saying, is there's 4 products that I use that will not turn on the digestive tract, but will enhance stem cell therapy, okay? It will enhance autophagy, which is eating up the dead cells, will help to increase your energy levels, but not turn on your digestive tract, and will help with your moods so you get through this smoother. It's like a magic carpet ride, right? This is called Ormus minerals, and Ormus minerals are mainly etheric, which means that they're not more matter. They're more etheric. So the energy of the most important minerals is to help you to stabilize your electrolyte balance, hypoglycemia, help your brain function, okay, and to help your electrical nervous system. All right? The next one I want to talk about is fulvic. Now, and the Ormus minerals, well, you can take them. You can take like a teaspoon or otherwise an eyedropper, and you can do that once a day, or you can do it up to 6 times a day. All right? And I just think any more than that would be overkill. All right? So you go by how you feel. Everybody's different because your personality dictates your reality, and your personality is made up of different belief systems, and that's why we're all different. That's why we're all unique. Okay? So the fulvic acid, you can put 1 teaspoon in every liter or quart of water. Our fulvic acid is, there's no chemical in it. It's mechanically and physically made, and it's also the smallest particle of fulvic that you can get. Okay? And remember what fulvic acid does, everyone. Fulvic acid actually will take in 40 different nutrients into your cells that are locked in your body, that aren't getting in there somehow, and it'll dump them off into the cells, and then it will take 3 times its weight in chemicals, heavy metals, and other toxicity out. But here's the deal. You're not going to have the symptoms that you would in a regular fasting or a detox, because it actually locks it down inside the particle and then carries it out without causing chaos on the way. So that's important. And remember, none of this turns on the digestive tract. All right? Okay. So the next thing I want to show is ATP. Now, I'm not going to grab the others, but I'll say it quickly. ATP, Divine Vine, and Pineal were the only people that I know of that sell life crystals from Dr. George Merkel. And he proved that life crystals could actually regenerate tissue. He actually regenerated his heart when they said that he had to have his heart replaced, and he never had to have it replaced. You can go and watch his videos if you go to Vancouver Lectures on YouTube. Now, he was known as the Einstein of science medicine. Now, ATP, this is the only organic ATP. It helps to go in and repair mitochondria. It's going to help to give you all kinds of energy, balanced energy, not some kind of caffeine zing, because that's not what we're after. It's going to go in and create natural ATP, help to repair mitochondria, and it's going to keep you balanced and keep you moving through the fast, okay? All right. Now, you can use ATP or you could use Divine Vine. For people that are a little bit emotionally up and down, or they've got thyroid problems, I would do Divine Vine. If you've got memory problems, okay, or you've got pineal gland problems, or you've got some type of brain dysfunction, you might want to look at Pineal, and they all have life crystals in them, and they all work a little bit differently. They all will create ATP, but ATP plus creates more ATP than the other two do, okay? Now, those are core. You've heard me talk about SAC calcium. Last night I had a show on SAC calcium, a live show with Jay Lee. And tonight I'm doing another show with Jay Lee, okay, on SAC calcium. So I'm going to do that show again tonight. So it's a 2-parter. Last night was part 1 about ionic calcium therapy in cancer. Today is part 2, and then next week we're going to do rheumatoid arthritis and ionic calcium therapy. We have different products for kids, Ozo Jr. We have Alzagen for Alzheimer's and for memory problems. We've got Cardigen for joint problems. We got Megagen for those people who are healthy and they just want to maintain, okay? And then we have Dentagen for people who have teeth problems and who have jaw problems, okay? But Merigen is the strongest one. And understand something. This is the only true calcium product in the world. And understand, this product, it's the invisible that creates everything physical. Understand, it's your calcium ions that carry on over 100,000 different chemical and hormonal things every second. And what this product does, it brings the calcium back into the bones and will restore your bones. It will balance your blood pH, your tissue pH, okay? And understand this. We all know about pH, don't we? And we know about acidity, and we know about loss of bone calcium. That's what gives us stiff joints. That's what gives us gallstones, kidney stones, and calcium deposits in our breast because we're too acidic. All right. Those are the products we use, and you don't have to use them. Remember that. This is a water fast. Do it any way you want. Now, for those of you, you really should try to get Himalayan salt, or you could get real salt, or get the salt that you think is the healthiest, okay? And then what you're going to do is you're going to get a teaspoon of salt. You're going to put it into 16 ounces of hot water. And then you're going to drink that first thing in the morning, because we need to flush our bowels. Now, if you go on this fast and that doesn't flush your bowels, or you don't want to do the salt because of blood pressure problems, which I don't think that this would ever cause, but if you don't want to, then you want to do the daily cleansing tea. Some people are so constipated that they'll need to do both. And instead of quitting the fast, you should be doing daily cleansing tea and make sure your bowels are moving every day. Don't create watery stools, okay? Don't create anything more than just like a cow plop. I don't want it looser than that, okay? But the reality is, if you're doing this fast and you're going into it constipated, this is not going to go well for you. You needed to get the cork out of the wine bottle before we started the party, okay? So just know that. Next thing, okay? Coffee enemas. They're amazing. You don't have to do one when you're on this. If you don't want to do a coffee enema, you could at least do a warm water enema, or you could put aloe in it, or you could put chlorophyll in it, but the best one is to do a coffee enema. If you take a look at my do-it-yourself guide in my library, I talk about exactly how to do it. You'll also find it in the 6-day advanced water fasting challenge videos in the 6-day advanced water fasting guide in the library. And you'll also find how to do a coffee enema if you want to go to the perfect day guide. So you can understand that we promote this heavily, because guess what? Your liver does over 500 jobs. And understand something. If you feel like you're getting old, guess what? You'll change the filter in your car maybe 3 times a year. But when's the last time you changed the filter? Otherwise, your liver. And just think of all the chemicals, okay? All the heavy metals, okay? That are actually that liver has in it. And especially, you know what, if you've been overweight, if you know you've had a toxic lifestyle, then give your liver a chance. And go in there and see about the ultimate coffee enema. And when we do, you can do it just with coffee. Remember, you do it your way. This is your life, it's your way. But when we do it, we also use black gold. We also use tummy love. And then we use the coffee, the Doc of Detox coffee, and we use a stainless steel bucket. You do it your way, and just know that we're here to support you. So I hope that that's really helped, because now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go over to my chair, and we're going to get set up. And I hope that you've been sending in your questions, because that's why I'm here. I'm going to go sit in my chair. We're going to be back here. How about a minute to 2 minutes? We're just going to get set up. And then all the questions that have come in on Facebook, okay, on Intercom and on YouTube, I'm going to answer them. Catch you in a minute. And because this is a water fast, why don't you go get yourself a glass of water? And then we'll actually put that up into the DIY, that's the do-it-yourself guide in the library. So if you want to share it, if somebody wants to watch it, and then we're going to reshoot it, make it a little more professional, and we'll swap that out. Okay, but we will put that up in the DIY. It'll also be up in the advanced fasting guide, okay, the 6-day advanced fasting guide. Anyways, I hope you're all doing well today. I hope that you're starting to get connected to your breath more and learning that when you connect to your breath, you'll be in the present moment. And then these people that are terrorizing us, they will have less power, and you'll be taking your power back, because the only place that you're going to truly find your power is in the present moment. That's, like I was saying before, you can't be in 2 time zones at the same time. So you might as well be in the present moment, where that's where everything beautiful happens. You can't heal except anywhere but in the present moment. That's where you got to be. So you got to focus on that healing being here already. Okay? That healing is here already. Okay? Focus on what you truly want. Okay? All right. So now for those of you who want to do the Advanced Water Fasting Challenge, you can go into the 6-day Advanced Water Fasting Guide in the library and take a look at the preparation video. It's the first one when you get into the guide. Just click on that, okay? Now, any of you that have questions on fasting, or they can be on any other health questions, okay? I don't mind. I will be answering your questions now, and I will be doing it on Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Monday 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I will not be doing a Q&A Monday afternoon, because we're doing one on Monday morning. And then the last one that I'll be doing for the fasting will be on Tuesday, okay? So you know what? This is your adventure. And listen, I'm here to work for you. I'm here to serve you on whatever level you decide to come into this fast. I just want to thank you for showing up. That's the reality right there. However little bit, however much you do, that's what you're doing right now, okay? And understand something. A lot of the things I talk about, you'll see the links will be at the end. We have those in a little video clips at the end. And understand this. Anybody on YouTube, Intercom, Facebook, if you want to start sending in your questions, or if you can't, you can call into the office, extension 1, tell them what your question is, and then they will put them on for you. We're actually going to go on right now on Facebook and start bringing those questions off. Sean, can you make sure? Can you please let Tara know to start going on Facebook? And any questions that people have been posting right now, I would like her to start giving them to me right away, okay? Now, I've got a few questions that I'm going to go through until the live ones come in, okay? All right? Okay, so this afternoon, just before I start the questions, this afternoon I will be on live with Jay Lee, and we will be doing part 2 of calcium ion therapy. All right, so you might want to check that out, okay? And then next Friday, we're going to be doing rheumatoid arthritis and calcium ion therapy, all right? And our upcoming courses, the next time we have a course here, a certification course, will be January the 9th. And understand something, we only take 10 in the non-surgical course. There's already 4 already in the course. Once it books up, it books up. And that's for January the 9th. I will be putting Whole Life Coach up. And right now, our tentative date is January the 18th, where you can go online and do the Whole Life Coach certification. And we will be in Texas this year, California, and next year. And we'll also be in Mexico and hopefully Florida with our training courses. Okay? Let's start the show, everyone. Kimberly, please explain baking soda and lemon juice. Okay, now, lemon juice is very acidic, but when it goes into the body, it goes very alkaline. It's a really beautiful alkalining product. Baking soda is such a miracle product. Understand something. I haven't done baking soda in the last few days, but I will do baking soda a lot. I mean, sometimes I'll do it once a day. I'll do it twice a day. I don't put the lemon in it. I just put the baking soda into a glass of in between warm and hot water. And look at everybody knows, I take on a lot. So if I feel like stressed out a little bit, or I feel a little bit of acid in my stomach, or in my abdomen feels like it could be gassy, or I could be feeling like, a little bit of acid here up around my solar plexus, I'll go do the baking soda right away, because guess what? You don't want to fry out those tissues. So we've got hydrochloric acid that digests our food when we eat. The acid we're talking about, it usually isn't hydrochloric acid, but it can be. Okay, so that can really burn your throat, but it's acidity. So if you're a real stressed out person, if you eat a lot of refined processed foods, dairy, sugar, flour products, things of that nature, or eat your food too fast, okay, you don't have a second set of teeth down there. All right, you'll find that doing the baking soda is really good. When you put the lemon in, you kind of activate it. So between the baking soda and the lemon, you'll drink it. Now, me, I'm an A-type person, A-type blood, and A-type people are not really good with vinegar or lemon. So sometimes it just kind of, I can do a little bit of lemon in water, okay? But if I do like a lemon shooter, it doesn't do well for me. Now, that's not everyone, okay? And that's probably because of my AAA personality, right? Who knows? Okay. So anyways, that's the baking soda and lemon juice. And I will tell you something. Baking soda and lemon juice, or just baking soda alone, is worth hundreds of thousands of dollars to you. Don't underestimate it. Don't anybody tell you that it's bad for you, because it's not. It can actually help to alkaline the body, which we know prevents a lot of the autoimmune diseases and even cancer. Okay? Myrrh, I read that calcium absorbs better with magnesium. Well, let's put it this way. I don't know really any calcium products that absorb that good. For one thing, there is only one actual calcium product and it's not really, we call it a therapy, and that's the SAC calcium. It doesn't need magnesium. It doesn't need K2 or vitamin D or anything else that anybody says. You can be tired, you can be very ill, even laid up, and have no energy, and it doesn't matter. This product, these calcium ions, okay, they actually need no assistance from the body. And that's the beautiful thing. And they can turn the body around because they're invisible, and it's more of a frequency light energy than it is anything else, right? But no, yeah, when you're taking other calciums, it may help with the absorption. But the realization is, if you go into PubMed and you actually read about calcium, it actually says in there, and they've said this for like the last 7,500 years, if anybody could invent and be able to get the ion off the calcium, then we would have a miracle product. Well, that's what SAC is. So do your own homework, do your own research, and see what you think. Jill, anything I can do for Bell's palsy? Okay. Now, understand something. That's a neurological disorder, but I do want to say this. Everything is a neurological disorder, okay? So it's, everything is, okay, to a certain degree. Now, understand something. With Bell's palsy, we know that you blew out acidic-wise, and we know that you probably have scar tissue wherever you blew out, and wherever the inflammation was the greatest, you could have a calcium buildup or scar tissue, and that will actually keep the paralysis in the face. Now understand something. With doing Wolfe non-surgical, getting on the SAC calcium, getting on the perfect day diet, helping to cleanse your bowels, but I'm telling you, right now we're talking about advanced water fasting. Come on. Advanced water fasting, if you do it properly, you know what? You'll go in there, release stem cells, and you'll do autophagy, which means you go in and you eat up the stuff that's actually caused the Bell's palsy, and you're actually going to drop down the acidity but bring up the alkalinity, okay? And that's what we call balance, a healthy balance. Lori, I have myeloproliferative disorder, okay, which can progress to leukemia. Okay. It's a group of slow-growing blood cancers in which the bone marrow makes too many red blood cells. Okay, all right, just so you know this, okay, and I'm going to tell you a story. So leukemia is even worse than this condition. But the condition that you have, understand, I'm not minimizing it, okay? But here's the reality. So my father, he got leukemia. My brother calls me up and says, and this is when I was 31 years old, and was just a few years ago. So anyways, and he said, Dad's in the hospital. They're giving him only a few days to live. And I said to my brother, get him out of there, get him on a plane. So anyways, he didn't know what to do. And I said, go in there and just do it. I said, and he goes, no, that might kill him. And I said, Marcel, you just told me Dad has a few days to live. I mean, what do you want? One or the other, one or the other. Make your decision up here. There's no time here to panic and fear. So the reality is he went in there and they said they wouldn't release him. And I said, they have no right to hold him. And I said, and this was back then, I said, if you have to go in there with a baseball bat, you get our father out of there. This was in Halifax, Nova Scotia, and I was in Toronto at the time. Anyway, so he flew my father. My father was in a wheelchair when he came off the plane. And he had cold sores all over his lips. His skin was yellow. The whites of his eyes were yellow, and he was down like this. And you could tell it was like it just tore my heart apart. Because it was like I know I'm gonna die, Darrell. And anyways, but my father didn't want to call me, and that's because of why? Well, because I used to hold the line. And my father used to eat from soup kitchens, and I won't get into the whole story here, but he had this thing about, poverty was the way to the Lord, okay? Anyways, that was his thing, right? But the reality so his diet was not really great, okay, to say any means, because when he would come for, I used to have a colon therapy school and teach it, and when he used to come for colonics, his bowel was such a mess, but that's like everybody's bowel almost. But the reality is you can't change your family. You can only change yourself, and you can hold the loving line. But anyways, he came, and I know you're not going to believe this story, okay? But the things that I'm trying to teach you and do for you, I was doing when I was 31 years old. I was always a radical, fanatical health practitioner. You got to understand something. I was into health when I was 17 years old, and I was picking poop out of my grandfather's rectum because he had bowel cancer. So, when I was 17, I had a hell of a wake-up call. So anyway, so my father comes with me, and I know that you're not going to believe this. You're just not, okay? So it took us with doing the same type of advanced water fasting I'm doing with you. I did with my father, okay? All right. And I also did urine therapy with him, which is controversial, but I did it with him, and I had nothing to lose, and it was my father, for God's sakes. So anyways, 3.5 weeks later, my father had his bags packed to go visit his cousin, Star. Okay. And it was Star's mother he went to visit, actually. And that's the truth. So what do you think of that? What do you think of that? So that's the reality of it, right? And I'll tell you why my father healed so fast. My father healed so fast because I don't take no for an answer. And I already had him healed. When I go into something, I see it done. Thy will be done. Thy will be done. Okay? And I think that a lot of us need to start living like that. But anyways, so what my father did was he went back to Nova Scotia, and 3 years later, he had leukemia again, and then we got rid of it, and this time it took 7 weeks to 8 weeks to really bring it down. And then 12 months later, they found my father on the floor in the kitchen. He had passed away, and but he never changed anything. But the reality is, and look, everybody's allowed to have the life they want. I get it. And I mean that. I'm not trying to get in your way. I just want to help you out. I just wanted to help my father out. But, the whole time we were being raised, and when I was a young child, right up until my father passed away, he said, I just want to be with Jesus. And understand something. That finally came true for him. So anyways, that's the leukemia story. And the reality is, I just want to say something. When somebody says, I can't do that for you, or when somebody says we can't do any more for you, that is a person with usually limited beliefs. And I don't give a crap if they went to school for 20 years or if they've got a white, if they have a white coat on and it shines and sparkles. Okay, and I don't care how high they stand. Just understand something, that we are unlimited beings. And when you go to a limited being for your health care, then it will be limited. And you know what? Your potential is so unbelievable. And I don't say this, oh my gosh, if we could just blow some hot air up their butt, maybe they could listen. No, it's the truth. Everybody, every one of you, no matter what your situation is today or what type of fearful programs you're running, you don't have to do this, okay? You choose to do this right now because you're on this show, you're listening to this information, and now you know you actually have a choice. Anyways, I'm done the rant. Shirley, can anyone buy the SAC calcium products and how much? Okay, Shirley. All you got to do is just call into 855-900-4544, extension 5. Extension 1. But if you have questions on the SAC calcium, you want to call my extension or call extension 1. They'll take your name and phone number, and I swear I'm going to call you back. And we're going to talk about the SAC calcium and your situation. As far as pricing goes, you have to call in the office. Now, this is not a game we're playing. You need to understand this, okay? All right? This is the FDA. They did this. They won't let us put our pricing up. They won't let us put our product right up in our store. They made me put my product in the library. So now you got to go in. You got to sign up to get in the library. Click on the SAC calcium guide to get the videos, to get the information, because it's totally non-toxic. And it is the greatest scientific breakthrough that I know of in the last 75 to 100 years. And that's why we got to play hide and seek for it. And I'll let you figure out the rest. Okay? Gloria, is the SAC calcium a fizz drink? No. No. But it'll make you fizz, girl. It'll pull all the calcium back into your bones. It will take your neurological system and rebalance it. It will help to rebalance your brain. You have no idea on what this product can do. Mandy, hi, many thanks. I've been following you for some time. The question I have is, in the UK, we are slightly behind. At what point would you recommend pulling the kids out of school? Fortunately, only have one in school. He's 13. I vaccinated him his whole life. Are there any triggers we should be watching for? I hope my question is valid. I cannot tell anybody what to do health-wise or with their children. I can tell you right now, if I had 10 children, none of them would be in school. They'd be at home, and I'd say, whatever your passion, your purpose is, follow that. I need you to be able to read, and write. And I need you to add. I don't need you to be able to do all this new math because nobody does it. It's just to screw you up. So I need you to read, write, and do math. And I need you to learn something. There's only one health care. It's self-care. There's only one love. That's self-love. And then when you have that, you can give it because it has unlimited potential for the whole world. When you don't love yourself, when you don't care for yourself, and when you don't know how to read or write or you do math, you're screwed. So ruled, fooled, schooled. My kids wouldn't be in school. And understand, if you can't take your 13-year-old, I understand. But I don't trust them. Do you trust them? Do you trust these guys? Let me tell you something. They're pissed off. They've been planning this. They've been planning this for a long time, like years and years and years. And it's not going the way they planned. And understand, they've got more planned for us. So what are you going to do when they terrorize us with more BS, dysfunctional belief systems? Well, I'm just not going to listen. I'm not participating either. I think I made that perfectly clear on my one-a-day today. All right? Agata, dear Dr. Wolfe, my name is Agata. In January 2019, I was diagnosed with thyroid papillary carcinoma. The doctors offered me the operation by cutting one of the thyroid plants. Okay. I started the diet the second day I heard the diagnosis. I don't eat meat, sweets, limited dairy, no dairy, love. It's not limited dairy. It's no dairy. Either it's good for you or it's not good for you. You either love yourself or you don't love yourself. one or the other. Okay, and flowery stuff for about a year. I've lost a lot of weight. Good for you. That's not weight, it's inflammation. Okay, I'm using essential oils. Good for you. What else can I do? I'm also going for acupuncture. That's great. Move the energy around, but it's the physical blocks within us that blocks the energy, that blocks the healing. And if you listen to the first part of this, you'll understand that. And guess what, guys? Okay, 2 weeks from now, I am releasing, okay, The Art of Number One. And it has kind of two titles, and the longer title is How to Become Number One at the Art of Number Two. And the other part of that is what every parent should know, or anybody that wants to have a good life. So this masterclass will be up, and it will be running for about 7 nights. It'll be 1 hour every night. And then after the 7 nights, it will be pulled down off of YouTube, and it won't be on Facebook anymore. And if you want it, you'll have to go into my library. And in there, you're going to find 5 other master classes. And if you go through my master classes, then we are going to unleash the practitioner from within. Let me tell you that much. Okay, I get acupuncture. I'm suffering from asthma, sinuses, but these are quite well now. I'm drinking beetroot, sourdough that I'm making myself. Okay, well, that's great. But the reality is what I'd do is I would go and click on docofdetox.com, click on consultations, pay $125. I'll give you a money back guarantee that we will way surpass that, because we will actually, you'll do a case history. That'll come to me. I'll get the master trainer that you decided to consult with. We will talk about your protocol. They will do the hour consult, give you the audio, and you'll get started on your perfect day, and then you have unlimited support for the rest of your life with us. Because if we truly know what we're doing, you're going to unleash the practitioner from within and win, right? That would be logical. Okay. Let Tara know to keep the questions coming, okay? Jacinta, is it okay to fast on my period? Absolutely. Okay, so here's the thing. Just make sure that if you're fasting on your period, that you're sticking to the rules. And I would definitely be doing ATP or Divine Vine. I would definitely be doing Ormus Minerals. And I'd definitely be doing the Fulvic, all right? And if you want, I would look at maybe looking at the Ultimate Coffee Enema. But here's the deal that everybody needs to get. When you're fasting and doing any type of fasting, you should always take about 5 minutes before you start to get stressed out or burnt out or wired, and just put your head down on your desk and do this every hour. That's only 8 times. If you have to let your boss know, let them know. You're doing something amazing, and you're only going to work better later because you're going to be healthier. They get to win. But make sure that you close your eyes for 5 minutes, breathe for 5 minutes, do some exercise or stretching for 5 minutes, okay? And make sure that you're always connected to your Lionheart breathing throughout the day. Get yourself a Love Band, Life Band. I got this. This is easy. All right, I can already feel the healing. I got this, okay? So, absolutely. Now, if you start to feel a little faint or something, a little dizzy, all you do is connect to your breath and do a little bit more ATP or Divine Vine. I would tell you to do Divine Vine or ATP 6 times a day, and you're going to say, wow, I flew through that. Okay, remember, it doesn't turn on your digestive tract because it bypasses the Krebs cycle because it's a 5-carbon sugar. Okay? During the water fast, when the stool gets very loose, what to do when it is part sand, part fluid? Well, do nothing, but absolutely don't do, okay, you know how I told you that you should do a teaspoon of salt, Himalayan salt, and put that into like 16 ounces of water and make it hot water and drink that first thing in the morning to flush your bowels. Well, if you feel like you're really getting a lot of like watery stool, then you don't need to do that either. You can do a pinch of salt in hot water throughout the whole day, and that's going to help your bowel movements, everybody. So understand something, a pinch, just a pinch of salt, like Himalayan salt or real salt, or if you want sea salt, the salt you like, and put a pinch in, and the more of the water being warm or hot, the more it's going to detoxify, open things up. Hey, there's the key, isn't it? Okay. Understand, don't shut down, open up. Okay. Yeah, and the sand, okay, the sand part, if it's sandy and it's kind of gritty, we're talking about really old waste, okay, that was actually dehydrated, and it's coming off your bowel walls, okay, all right, okay, so this ain't no sandbox, this is more of a kitty litter, and you're cleaning it out, okay, so you're doing a really good job. But if your stool was watery or getting loose, you always back off on daily cleansing tea or back off on your salt flush. But you can still, everybody, put a pinch of the really good salt in your water throughout the day. That'll also help to stabilize your electrolyte balance, okay? All right? Where do we go to start preparing for the fast? Go to docofdetox.com, click on the library at the top, and then go in and then click on the 6-day advanced water fasting guide and watch the preparation video. And you can also read the guide if you want. And if you're trying to get going here and play Miss Catch Me Up, that's great. And if you want, just call the office. If you have a question and you're stuck, we're going to help you just move along, okay? All right? Next. Belinda, that was from Kim. Thank you, Kim. Belinda, if I am already taking your Sinonian minerals, do I need to add the Ormus minerals? Well, you're not going to take Sinonian minerals when you're on a fast. And no, you do not need the Ormus minerals on a daily basis. But I would take the Ormus minerals if you can't kind of like ground yourself. If you feel like you're not here in the present moment. These are more etheric minerals. They do act like minerals in helping to ground you, but Ormus minerals won't turn on your digestive tract, and that's why we utilize them so much when doing fasting. But understand something. I take Ormus minerals at least once a day because I want that etheric mineral supplementation. Okay, it helps me in centering me. I feel more grounded. Now, the Sinonian minerals have 145 nutrients in them. They've got your minerals and all your vitamins and your antioxidants. So, but they would turn on your digestive tract. So please don't do those during this. You don't need them. June, I'm supposed to have neck surgery, and I'm so scared to have it put it off twice, but I don't know if I should go ahead with it. There is a chance I could come out of it paralyzed. I don't know if I want to take that chance. Any advice? Well, my advice is to take a look at our non-surgical therapy that we do. It's a bodywork technique, and to get a consultation and get on the perfect day, because it's inflammation that's caused the scar tissue. Even if you had an accident, a car accident, a sports injury accident, that created a lot of the scar tissue. But now, like a beaver dam, everything's piling up behind it. And then just your stress alone is making it worse. And the reality is if you get on the perfect day diet, learn about our clapping. And if you were to come for some Wolfe non-surgical body work, I'll give you a guarantee, okay, that the first treatment, you're going to go, wow, I can heal my own neck. I can heal my own neck. So you heard what I just said. And then if you don't want to move on that, I get it. Why would you move on it? I'm one of the first people to say things like this, so the majority's not doing it yet. But between me and you, I wouldn't do anything the majority's doing, okay? Because they're getting sold off by the pound. All right. June. No, that was June. Sorry. Joanna, had really bad eczema on my leg that got infected. Was horrible. No, you have really bad eczema in your bowel, and that is called fungal problem, which your yeast turned into fungus. The fungus then were drill bit predators, and they drilled holes through your large intestine. So now you have a screen door in a submarine, and you're leaking your bowel waste into your bloodstream, and the fungus has now gotten into your bloodstream. We call that systemic candidiasis, and now you have eczema, and that eczema is going to go to psoriasis, because psoriasis is eczema that has not been treated properly. How am I doing so far? Okay, so just know that you can reverse all this, okay, and you can. It was horrible. The stress of COVID didn't help, of course, because when you're stressed, you're more acidic, and my stomach is tied in knots. I feel like I'm going to throw up. I can't stomach this. Okay, so what you're doing is you're disturbing your good bacteria. So, the more stress you have, and 85% of our stress gets held in our abdomen area, so you're kicking the living crap out of your bacteria. So when your bacteria defense comes down, the fungus comes up. Oh, look at that. There's no defense around here. Hey, fungal guys, let's breed. Let's mate. Come on, we can get away with this. Woohoo! So, and the COVID thing doesn't stress me out at all. Do I think that these guys are psychopaths? Absolutely. Do I think I can't trust them? Absolutely. But I will trust in myself, and I'll trust in God Almighty. Thank you very much. So don't let COVID get to you. And the reality is, if COVID's getting to you, then so did everything else before COVID. And understand something. They just really learned how to turn on the terrorism, because you were already scared because of COVID. A lot of people are so scared they don't want to live. They're so scared they don't want to die. So they're stuck in the deep blue middle. That's it. Or the deep poo middle, maybe. The reality is none of this is your fault. So get that. But now you have a choice. You have a choice to start thinking different. Get yourself some Braveheart love bands, dear. Okay, and just click this. This is snapping back to the present. This is a kiss. I love myself. I love myself. When you start thinking that, that things aren't going to work out well, no, new sheriff in town. I love and approve of myself. I got this. I'm already healed. I'm abundant. Okay? That's the deal. That's the whole meal deal. Okay? The only reason why you're freaked out about COVID is you've been practicing, okay, because COVID is like the Olympics of terrorism. So you've been practicing all your life and being terrified about things, and then the big one comes, the Olympics come, called COVID, right? But understand something, that's the grand illusion, okay? All right, because you got to get this. 1.5 million people died of TB. Nobody gives a crap. There are children starving to death every day. Nobody gives a crap. There are so many children that have cancer because their parents are adulterated and feeding them poisonous foods from the same people that are talking about COVID are the same people that are poisoning the children. Tell me I'm wrong. So you know what? I'm going to believe them. You're going to believe them? Come on. Don't do it. Okay. How to get the inflammation out of my body? Well, I would suggest that you call and get a consultation. I would suggest that you also go to the library and start practicing the 12 loving steps. You can watch the videos, start there if you like that. Join the Braveheart. You can join my Braveheart group on Facebook, and you can also join the Braveheart online emotional class. You can take your time and do it. It's a pretty big class, but it's going to show you how the world revolves emotionally and how you're so amazing and how you can rewrite your own story and be the hero of the day. Okay? That's what I would do. And I'd also get a perfect day consultation so that you can get rid of the riot and get a really beautiful diet on an emotional and physical level from the minute that you wake up in the morning until you go to bed. Okay? And then get a perfect day and repeat that every day and work towards a perfect life. And a perfect life is we're going to hit some bumps. Perfect life is we're going to have a couple of upsets here and there because you may straighten you out. Just remember, you've got family, you got friends, and they're not going to do it. So, but that'll be your entertainment. That'll be your adventure to see how well you can handle the illusionary terrorism that everybody else is doing, but you decided to stop. How's that? Okay? And I'm not trying to be sarcastic here. I don't know how else to say it anymore. You know what I mean? And understand something. It takes work. The hardest thing you'll ever do is love yourself. The hardest thing you'll ever do is forgive yourself. Oh my gosh, isn't that something? All right? It should be the easiest thing because guess what? Don't we all hurt enough? You know, I didn't need to get smacked around by my parents or anybody else. I was already smacking myself around when I thought I did something wrong. And meanwhile, I'll tell you, anybody that comes down here and tries to play this life-threatening game, they're a hero already. And to think that I'm not going to be a bit of a sinner or a liar or a failure is like beyond stupid because everybody else down here is lying, crying, and justifying about everything. And you can't swim in a cesspool and not get some on you. That's the deal. Landa, I was told I need mag infusion, but I take SAC. So I stopped it just because I heard you saying a few weeks ago that if you use SAC, you don't need mag infusion. What should I do? Well, mag infusion, love, helps you with actually opening up, because magnesium opens you up. It helps to relax you. We all need magnesium, so I'm not telling you you don't need it. What I was telling you is, this is what I said, and maybe I didn't say it right, okay? Because I've been accused of that before, and people were right. Here's the deal. When the calcium leaves your bones, guess what? What is holding these walls up? Calcium. Wow, isn't that something? That's called cement. So when you pull calcium from your bones, you're cementing your joints, your muscles, your tissues, your organs, and everything else. Do you get that? Yeah. So now, if we were to take SAC calcium, put it back into the and take our calcium that's displaced, bring it back into the bones, and it'll bring all the calcium back into your bones. Well, what do you think that's going to do? Well, that's going to loosen up your joints, isn't it? But if we were to take magnesium, that is the healing, okay? That's the healing mineral. That's the mineral that opens things up, okay? That's the mineral that relaxes you. Wow, what a powerful team. Right hand, left hand. Now, you can do the SAC calcium on the fast, but don't do the magnesium. Because the SAC calcium, the invisible, which you can't see, is the miracle which you're going to be, okay? And that's the God's truth, all right? We're talking about hundreds of thousands of people that have done the SAC calcium. So there's the true answer, okay? And thank you. All right, so okay. Memerd. I hope I said it right. Hi, Dr. Wolfe. My granddaughter is Down syndrome. She is 14 years old. I would like to know if we can do something with her tongue. It's always out of her mouth and very big. I asked what could be done when she was much younger. The solution to have an operation and cut her tongue. What are other options? Well, talking about other options, I'm going to tell you something right now. My mother got tongue cancer, and you know what they wanted to do? They wanted to cut her tongue out, and I went to the doctor with her, and I was much younger, and much younger, and they wanted to cut her tongue out, and then they wanted to cut a piece off her bum and then sew it on as a tongue. So anyways, my mother came to stay with me when this happened, and her tongue was so big because she smoked McDonald menthol cigarettes, and she smoked about 2 packs a day, and then she drank 5-star whiskey, and I won't get into the whole thing. But the reality is when she was with me for 10 days, her tongue swelling came down so much from getting rid of the inflammation, you could actually understand her and her talking, okay? And we brought the cancer down within about 3 months, and I'll tell you why. Do you know why we did? Because it was easy. It's easy to work with the tongue. Now, if you want, love, give me a call, because I will tell you, in this type of condition, the bowels are the biggest problem. The bowels are very lazy. Tell me that she doesn't have a bowel problem, okay? So if you were to get into more of a whole plant-based diet, because I don't believe in vegetarianism. Vegetarianism means you can eat everything except animal products, but you can eat all the fake cheeses and the breads and the crackers and the rice crackers and all the other stuff. Vegetarians aren't healthy either, unless they're eating, as a vegetarian, healthy things. I believe in whole plant-based diets because the vibration comes up, and they also clean the body as they lean the body, as they bring down the inflammation, okay? But you can give me a call, extension 5, if you want, and give me a little bit more. How much does she weigh? How does her bowel move? How much water does she drink? How much fruits and vegetables does she eat? What other addictions does she have, okay, that you let her have? If she's eating cheese, then no wonder her tongue would swell, okay? Joanne, would you do a juice fast with 1 meal a day for a week to make it easier for the body? Well, if I was going to do a juice fast, it'd be a vegetable juice fast. And the next thing is, if I was going to do one meal a day, it better be, if you want to do this right, a big salad, a big, huge salad. And you could have some avocado in it if you wanted, or maybe some black beans or navy beans or a few beans. But don't overdo the beans. Don't overdo the avocado. But keep it lean and keep it keen. And that's the way I would do it. Okay? And you can't really call it a juice fast. So it's a whole plant-based fast, because that's the juicing is whole plant-based and the salad's whole plant-based. So let's call that a whole plant-based fast. And I think it's amazing. I think it's a beautiful thing to do. And believe it or not, that's almost how I live. Okay? That's how I live. Okay? Very close to that. I'm not saying I don't go and do this or something else sometimes, but the reality is 85 to 90% of my diet is intermittent fasting. It's 12 o'clock. I got up at 5:30 this morning. I did 4 hours of video shooting. Then I answered phone calls. Then I came here to do this. And, it's 12 o'clock. I'll probably have a blender drink around 1, right? And then I'll have another large salad tonight. And that's the truth, okay? Would you do, okay. Sequia, where is your recommended source of ormus from? Where is our recommended, or where is our ormus from? Okay, our ormus is made here in Kelowna, and it is made by such a brilliant gentleman. He is so brilliant, and he's so passionate, and he has so much purpose. I mean, I really truly believe we have the best ormus in the world, and we improved on our ormus just 4 weeks ago. We even brought it even up higher than we had it. So the reality is, that's where it comes from, okay? But that's not where the products come from, as you must know if you know about ormus. And if you know about ormus, you know that it takes a lot of work to make ormus. A lot of work, all right? Let me see. Yvonne, I believe I have liver damage of some sort. We all do, sweetie, okay? No gallbladder for 35 years. So understand something. With no gallbladder, you just increased your large intestine problems. So you need to be really on top of your large intestine. The liver may not be damaged, but what you are doing is you're doing a lot of damage to your large intestine, because without your gallbladder, you are now not breaking down the fats. And I'm telling you, it kicks the living crap out of your bowels. So make sure you're doing things like daily cleansing tea, tummy love, black gold, and really get into the ultimate coffee enema. Just do it. Really do it. And that's what I'd be doing. Do belly button therapy. Do your pelvic squats. Do the pelvic enhancer. That's a really good start right there. And a whole plant-based diet is going to really help that. And just remember something. You do know that the fulvic acid we have is the smallest molecular size that I think is in fulvic. And you do know that fulvic will go in and clean out the heavy metals and chemicals out of the liver. And you're a lot better off to create a perfect day and repeat it every day than do these deep cleanses that everybody talks about, because I don't know, that's not even smart, to be honest with you. I'd rather create the perfect day and feel good every day than build up something and feel like crap and go, okay, now it's time to do a 3-week cleanse. Mikkel, Dr. Darrell Wolfe, I'm on the water diet this morning. Now it's 8:40 p.m. in my country. Can I keep exercise, workout, and power walk during a fast? Understand something. Exercise needs to be like I showed. It's more meditative. It's more opening things up to increase the flow, increase the circulation. If you're doing exercise, power walk, okay, you're contracting. And if you're contracting, you're tensing up. Don't slow your fast down. Don't go for a power walk. Go for a love walk, okay? And if you're going to work out, don't look for contracting and trying to build muscle during the fast. Look for exercises that will lengthen, strengthen, detox, and restore. That's what we want to do, sir. Terry, I'm not sure if, I hope I was right when I said sir. Terry, can you tell me the long-lasting effects of methadone? Methadone is a liquid or a pill to reduce opioid withdrawal symptoms or cravings. Well, very hard on the liver, really hard on the kidneys. It can actually put your bowel into a coma state. And if I were you, I would find a really good practitioner to get yourself on a whole plant-based diet and start doing some really good ultimate coffee enema for that liver of yours, and really start connecting to your breath and knowing, Terry, that you're beautiful. And believe it or not, self-love is the greatest detox in the universe. Okay? All right? Naries, can I take other probiotic tablets alongside the tummy? You can take anything you want with Tummy Love. You can take anything you want with Daily Cleansing Tea. All right? Ormus Minerals should travel in on their own. SAC Calcium has to travel in on its own. You can't do anything a half hour before the SAC and a half hour after except drink water. That's about it. Can you find out if there's any more questions that need to be answered? And if not, then we are finished.
I have one here from Baudre.
Okay.
It says, is there any of your products that help with dementia?
Yeah, absolutely. So understand something. Okay. This is a bigger question than just a really quick answer. So if you want, you call me, but let me just help you with this. You can go on Marigen, right here, or you can go on Alzagen. Okay, they're very close. Alzagen, Alzheimer's, right? Marigen. Marigen is actually a little bit stronger than that, and it'll do what the Alzagen does. So that's the one I would go with. Just so you know, guys, I do Marigen once to twice a day still, and I always will. I mean, a lot of people will do Megagen when they feel they've got all the calcium back in their bones. You know, you can reverse your bone structure to the age of 30. You can reverse your brain back to the age of a teenager if you want. Also, take a look at the pineal. Pineal has life crystals in it, and it helps to regenerate the actual pineal gland, and it helps to help with regeneration of the actual brain tissue. Now, understand something. When we get any type of thing going on with the brain, you got to get this. It's a gut-brain disconnection. So you have to go in and rehabilitate the good bacteria in your bowels. I would tell anybody in that situation to be on Daily Cleansing Tea, Tummy Love, and Black Gold. And I'd be doing, again, the Ultimate Coffee Enema. And understand something. If you could do a fast, I know, you don't have to believe this. But you go ahead and you actually do a fast, an advanced water fast with this person, and do SAC calcium 4 to 5 times a day. I'd like to know, are they overweight, underweight, where they are, what's their stability like? And then we want them on the perfect day diet. We want them doing what I just said, but let's do an advanced water fast with them. And understand something. Wait till you see the lights come on. It'll just blow your mind. Okay? It will blow your mind. Why wouldn't you want to unleash the stem cells, the autophagy, and really increase the circulation like never before? I would also, when not on the advanced water fast, I'd have them on curcumin cayenne 5000 to reduce all inflammation, and I'd have them doing 3 or even 4 of those, and I'd have them doing 3 or 4 of those, and have them doing 3 or 4 times a day. But I would first start to graduate with it, not jump into that, and I would just do 1 curcumin cayenne 5000 with meals 3 to 4 times a day, and then gradually work my way up. And then if we could get to, let's say, 3 on an empty stomach, wow, the circulation, bringing down the inflammation with the SAC calcium, with the Tummy Love, with the Fulvic, Daily Cleansing Tea. I mean, we're going to rock this thing. And understand something. The power you have, it's like the less you eat, the more you treat yourself. The less you eat, the more you treat yourself. And the more you eat that is alive, high vibrational foods, you'll become a high vibrational being. If you want to become a doing, then just keep on doing what they are telling you to do. Okay? All right. Give me a call. We can go into this deeper. Also, with Alzheimer's, make sure that you're playing music back when they were 17 and 18, when they first fell in love the first time. That'll spark their memory. Make sure there's lots of light in the house. Don't have the curtain shut. Okay. Make sure there's lots of smiling and laughter and hugging, and really find that person's passion and their purpose, and make them do it. If you have to drive them there, but get them social, get them with people, and it'll come back. Okay. So understand something. I truly believe today that a lot of people get Alzheimer's because they cannot no longer handle the guilt of their own life, or they cannot, they just can't handle the guilt. And remember something, everything happens on an emotional level before a physical level. And if you don't get this, then you're going to miss the big thing, because the condition you're in is a lot more important than the condition you have, first and foremost. All right? So help them rewrite their story into the most beautiful story of their life, and watch them light up. Watch them light up. Okay? Okay, so there's a lot more questions here. Naries, can I take other probiotic tablets alongside the Tummy Love? Absolutely. And I never ever told you couldn't. We have a really good one, Forever Flora. I just don't talk about it a lot because guess what? At the end of the day, they're support products, because guess what? There's only one bacteria. It's mummies. Mummies bacteria is, if you just had one mummy's bacteria and you had 1 trillion probiotic bacteria crawling around inside of you, mummy's bacteria is still stronger and will take you to the home plate. And the things that we do and teach helps mummy's bacteria come back by the trillions. That's all. Okay? David, hi Darrell, can you give an exercise for my hip collapsed? Well, first of all, if your hip collapsed, that didn't collapse. That's beef jerky. So you got to go in there and do non-surgical and open up that beef jerky so you can get the blood, the lymph, and the energy flow back, and get the calcium back into the bones where it belongs. And yes, there are. It's called the pigeon. So I'll show it on Facebook in the next few days. All right, that's a really good one. Or just go on Google or YouTube and look for the pigeon pose. Okay, but I will show it to you. All right, in the next few days. That's a really good one. I would be clapping though. Okay, so order yourself a clapper, and just so you know, everybody, we have a few clappers left. If you walk into our clinic, but our clappers will be in about 1 week. We get thousands of them. We have another 2,000 clappers coming in a week, and then I have 10,000 ordered, and they go as fast as they come in. And start watching the clapping. And I know I've said this, and you guys have been very patient with me, but the clapping class comes up actually in 2 to 3 weeks. I'm not exactly sure, but we're just about there. Okay? We're just about there. Baudre. Okay. Cheryl, are organic eggs healthy to eat? Yes. I'm hearing two different scenarios. What's your thoughts? Well, the reality is I will take free-range organic eggs and crack them open, put them in my blender drinks when I feel like I need something like right now to just kind of stabilize me, because I've been going crazy working, not going crazy, but you can see what my schedule's like, and I love it. There's my addiction. But the reality is this. I'm not a big egg eater, cook eggs, eat eggs. They're hard to digest. All animal protein is. The reality is I'll take an organic raw egg, put it in my blender. I'll put in just one egg even. I've been known to put two, and I hardly ever do that anymore. Okay? The reality is I get all my amino acids from my diet. I got a really good diet. And I take really good energy supplementation, not supplementation, energy supplementation. Okay? So you're going to get two trains of thoughts. But the reality is this. Would you rather do a raw organic egg, Okay? Or would you rather eat an animal that was around longer, that could be poisoned longer and stronger? So, even if it was a free range animal, I'm not a big meat eater. I wouldn't do that myself. Or chicken, I don't do that at all. So I will do a fresh, organic, raw egg. And I've been known to do it. Now, I did actually that 3 days ago, I think. It was on 3 days ago. But I don't do it all the time, I do a lot of plant protein. So that's what I really go for. But, it's what you're used to. And everybody's different. You know what? You can be from this religion and eat like that, or be from this religion and eat like that. And you can be from this following and eat like that. And that's what it's all about. So guess what? I'm going to be wrong and I'm going to be right. And it all depends on whose beliefs I'm talking to. I can go and do a lecture and get, hey, wow, you're amazing. And then go do another lecture and go, get him out of here. Get the bum out of here. So the reality is, if your beliefs match with someone. So go by your feelings. Go by your feelings. How do you feel when you eat these things? Okay? Lenny, I would like to give both my sister and my hubby a perfect day consult. My sister has rheumatoid arthritis, and my hubby has congestive heart failure. Well, guess what? Most guys have heart failure. And the reason why they have heart failure is they have love failure, because they fail to love themselves. And, when you're raised as a boy, it's like, be a man. Be a man. Man, don't cry. Come on. Maybe we don't do it as much. But the reality is, who gets heart disease more than anyone? Men do, okay? They got heart attack, fart attack. Most of it's just a fart attack. They get rushed to the hospital, and it's a fart attack because they overeat and they suppress their emotions, right? And they don't even know. Think about it. All you women there, how hard is it to talk to your man? Okay, tell me it's easy. And then I'll say, how easy is it to talk to your girlfriend? A lot easier. Well, she's a woman. No, it's because she opens up her heart to you. And men, if you'd open up your heart to your women, guess where your life is going to go? Amazing. Okay? Amazing. All right. Where were we here? My congestive heart failure. Yeah, you can turn that around. I want to give him the confidence I have that your system will work. Well, you can't do that. The reality is, if you want to get him on the phone with me, if he has an iPhone, I'll do a FaceTime. We'll talk man to man. And I'm not trying to be sarcastic, but the reality is I was where he was. Every man is where he is. Not every man is where he is, but every man is where he was, or they're still there. And the reality is, it's the way we've been raised, because it's belief systems, right? I don't wear a dress. And the reality is, I was raised not to wear a dress. If I was raised to wear a dress, I'd probably wear a dress, wouldn't I? So the reality is everybody's got different belief systems. Just as there's many different religions, there's many different personalities, because people have different belief systems. Shabnam, my mom is a colon cancer survivor. No, she's not. No, she's not. She's a colon cancer thriver. Let me tell you something. Anybody that had colon cancer and they're still alive in that system out there is a thriver. She's not a survivor. And don't you call her that, because a survivor means you went to war and now you're limping home. Okay? Talk like she's powerhouse. And I'm not downing you. We're taught to talk like this. I'm a thriver, not a survivor. I don't care what goes on. I'm going to thrive. I'm not going to want to just survive. Do you want to just survive? Does she just want to just survive? Or do we all want to thrive? We got to watch what we think. We got to watch what we say and what we say to our family, especially what we say to children. Especially what we say to children. I want to give them confidence. Do I need supplements to go along with these consults? Well, not necessarily, but what would be good, there are energy medicines therapy that would help them. So the reality is we're going to lay it out like a menu. They're going to decide, or you'll decide, what it is that they should do to start off with. The thing is we limit ourselves. We have no problem spending money other places. Take a look at everybody. If they're broke, they're still buying junk, or they're buying beer, or they're buying marijuana, okay? Or they buy tons of clothes they're not going to wear, or they need a new car all the time. I mean, there's always something we're spending our money on, okay? So the reality is it's all about priorities. When somebody says to you, I don't have enough time and I don't have enough money, it means that they're not interested. It means that it doesn't vibrate with them. So that's why we don't go out trying to sell what we have. People need to do their research in our library, and then guess what? But the reality is, even if I'm right, it doesn't matter, because if it doesn't match your beliefs, you're still not going to do it. Do you know how many people I talk to? Okay, and the things I'm saying are bloody well logical, and even things that are not expensive. And guess what? They'll go, well, let me think about it. Well, they don't realize that their subconscious is running them, which is 90% of their brain. And guess what? The reality is this. You explain this to me. You explain why somebody that's sick and toxic would actually go and take toxic medicine. It's called medicine, believe it or not. Drugs, take toxic drugs to think they're going to heal something. That's how insane we are. If a doctor said this is going to cost you $500 a pill, but this is one of the best breakthroughs we've ever seen, but you got to understand there's 500 symptoms, and they could kill you too, but this will cure you. Welcome to my world. Welcome to your world. This is our world, but I'm not accepting it. So the reality is when you're talking to someone, you're not talking to their heart. You're not talking to their spirit. You're talking to their beliefs, because people are rarely in the conscious moment. Present moment, being conscious. Okay, Shabnam, my mom is she's a survivor. She can't eat vegetables because she gets a bad stomach pain. Well, the reality is she can eat leafy greens, but what the reality is you know what? If she has a broken down digestive tract, then let's call in the restorative crew. The restorative crew is getting your mother to go on a watermelon diet, or even the grape cure, or getting your mother, let's find out what she likes, because it's got to be things that are going to have fiber, enzymes, structured water, lots of nutrition, and easy for the body to digest. It's already pre-digestible. Or get your mother on a vegetable juice cleanse, and eventually maybe we'll get her on a water fast, an advanced water fast. But the reality is, let me tell you something. If we want to fix the highway, we got to make sure everybody's in bed, or that people aren't driving on the highway. So we got to make sure we give a detour. That detour is, Mom, let's just still bring in the high nutrition and bring in lots of life, but let's bring in things that aren't going to ask your digestive tract to do any work while we're restoring it. Okay? And the other thing is this. I guarantee you that your mother's not doing the daily cleansing tea, the tummy love, or the black gold. And the other thing is if your mother's eating broccoli and cauliflower, that's really gassy, so she's not going to break that down. So why don't we give her leafy greens and make it taste really good naturally? So you know what? You might want to get her a perfect day consultation, but if nothing else, go in and take a look at my perfect day guide and play with the stuff we've talked about. Joanne, Dr. Wolfe, do you do Reiki? Reiki, everybody is like raking your aura, like raking the energy, trying to clean up the energy, because whether you want to believe this or not, people don't like the word aura, okay? But we do have a field, and it is a scientific fact. We all have a field because we all give off energy. That energy can be felt in the form of heat. That energy can be felt in the form of when you walk in the room, oh, I don't like their energy. If this is not my place, or you walk in the room and that feels like a really nice place to be, because every energy has different frequencies. So understand something. Yes, well, I don't do Reiki, but everything is about energy. Understand, everybody says there's four food groups: fruits, vegetables, proteins, and starches. Well, no, guess what? There's 5. And this is the most important one, and that is energy foods. that is frequency foods. So the higher the frequency a food has, the more it heals, the more it cleanses, the more it makes you feel beautiful, the more light that shines from you, because the frequency foods have a lot of light and energy stored within them. Okay? And that's the same with supplements. If you take a look at my supplementation, it's all based on energy. You know, all my essential oils are structured. All my essential oils are the purest and the highest concentrate that you can get on the planet. I've been making them for the last 34 years. That's right. And I'll tell you, I'll put them up against any essential oils around the world. They're all in Egyptian glass, which means radiation cannot disturb my essential oils. And they're also cheaper than pretty well anyone else out there. And measure them up. See for the quality. Daria, sorry, writing again. Missed my question. I have essential head tremor. Could the neck exercise with the plate help me? Yes, it could. And the reality is what was the trauma? So I had a lady here with her daughter, and they were here for a PTT just 2 weeks ago, and her head would tremor like this. Okay? And that's because her husband broke her jaw. Now, we actually did a lot of emotional counseling with her, and we got down to the point that she was actually having the tremor still because it was her protection so nobody else would punch her in the face. Now, whether you believe that or not, that was the strongest dis-ease causing problem for her. So we started to work on that, and we brought the tremor down by about 60%, right? And then I had her go like this, and I said, please walk around with your arms up like this and hold your head, okay? And then the other thing we did was we got her some Vox insoles, and that brought the tremors down too, because it's all about nervous. Let me tell you something. If you run a belief long enough and strong enough, it becomes the prominent belief in your subconscious. When it becomes the prominent belief in your subconscious, the unconscious mind, which is your body cells, will also take that belief on. And you, just like a clock, like a calendar, you will keep doing the same thing, just like a little mouse running on a wheel, running the same program. So the reality is you can be insanely miserable or insanely happy. You can be insanely sick or insanely healthy. So it all depends on, because this is an insane planet. Nobody noticed? So it all depends on the belief systems that you're actually running or that somebody's running for you. Anyways, if you've got neck tremors, just know this, that your whole neck is beef jerky. You need to get into the Wolfe non-surgical. You need to get into clapping. You got to clap the trauma out. You got to use Wolfe non-surgical to unwrap the beef jerky so you can release the emotion that you buried in your neck. How's that? Yvette, my question is not there. How do we use weight balance oil if we can do this on the water fast? Yeah, you can use weight balance oil on the water fast. And what you do with the weight balance oil is you can put it inside your elbows right here, also on your wrists. You can put it on your neck. You can put weight balance on the groin area. And you can also put weight balance around your kidney area. You can put weight balance on the bottom of your feet or around your ankles or behind your knees. Those are the best places for it. Okay? Well, we did it. That's the questions for today. I'll be back tomorrow. I might be only back for 15 minutes tomorrow. Depends on how many questions people put in today. So tomorrow I'll take whatever questions come on here, and I'll take any questions that come in live tomorrow. It's now 12:30, so we've almost been here for 2 hours. So we usually don't go this long. But I just want to tell everybody that wherever you are right now, just know you're doing a great job. But know that you have unlimited potential and you could do so much better. We can always do better, okay? Do not be satisfied with your life. Listen, I am totally happy about everything I have, but I will never be satisfied. Not to the point where I'm not satisfied. That's not what I'm talking about. I just realized that my potential is unlimited, so I will never be satisfied. I'm not talking about I need to make more money. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about I will never be satisfied with the love that I have for myself and for the planet. I will want more and more and more and more because love is unlimited. Love is the universal language. And understand something. They are stealing it from us. Okay? LOVE, 4 letters. Okay? Hate. HATE, 4 letters. Okay? And right now they're promoting hate. They're promoting us to hate each other. Okay? To hate what they're doing. And because they own the military, they own the police, they own the government, they think that they can push us around. Don't let them do it. And you know what? The first step is not being pushed around on a mental level, which means that you have to get rid of the real terrorist in your life, and that would be dysfunctional beliefs that were never yours. Okay? And I know that there's struggle going on. I wish I could give you what I have, in the way that I feel, and let you just test drive it to show you that you are love and you're worth loving. Okay? So I've went through everything about my shows and all of that. So like I said, there'll be no Q&A on Monday afternoon, but we will have it on Monday morning. If you ever want to listen to any of my shows or anything I do, you can actually download the audio, okay? And you can download the audio to your phone, and you can go to iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud. All I want to say is God bless everyone. And remember, 3, 2, 1, you got this. And if we come together, teamwork will make the whole dream work. Have a beautiful day. day, everyone. Welcome back to the Doc of Detox show. I'm Dr. Darrell Wolfe, and today's show is Cancer and the Ion Connection, Part 2. So if you haven't watched Part 1 yet, please go back and watch Part 1. You'll find it up on YouTube, and you'll find it even time-stamped, okay? So let's get to Part 2 with Jay Lee. In 2009, Dr. Paul Lee invented sigma antibonding calcium, otherwise known as SAC calcium, in efforts to make a better biological calcium. But listen, not just the better biological calcium. How about the first calcium product to actually work and do what it was supposed to do? His friend fully recovered from the last stage of prostate cancer with colon metastasis only with SAC ionic calcium. Intensive research on SAC began, leading to the discovery of its amazing effects on many degenerative diseases such as osteoporosis, Parkinson's, and autoimmune diseases. So let's understand something right now when it comes to cancer, as I stated in Part 1, is that alkalinity is so important, okay? Dr. Otto Warburg proved that. So if a cell can stay properly pH balanced, alkaline, okay, then it will not become cancerous. Think about that. And think about how you can take your power back. Good day, Jay. Thanks for joining us.
Hello, Dr. Wolfe. Glad to be back here.
Glad to have you, my friend. So let's kick off Part 2 and just show them how something invisible can affect the physical body in such a dramatic way.
Thank you, Dr. Wolfe. I cannot emphasize more the important role of calcium ions in our body. It works pretty different than any other molecules and minerals in our body, as it is the leading molecule that also affects how other minerals work. And this is the only molecule that our body really precisely regulate, whether it's extracellular, intracellular concentration, because of its involvement of communication. You want your communication channel to be clear and with enough bandwidth, because our body uses very, very complex language called calcium oscillation. And as we grow older, with loss of bone mass and all the calcium displaced, especially in cellular level, it disrupts the most important ionic calcium oscillation. So here we are, the effect of ionic calcium on cancer. I'd like to start out by giving you one interesting clinical example. This lady was from China, and she was diagnosed with 4-stage ovarian cancer. And she performed oophorectomy, and she was on both chemo and radiation. But then treatment stopped as the calcium marker rose above 10,000. And started to spread all over her body. So she went on SH therapy, and this was the only therapy that was administered. And the quality of life improved drastically. For 2 months of taking SAC, she says her stomach was feeling much more comfortable with increased appetite, and that's very important for more nutritional absorption that cancer patients do need. And she was no longer needing the sleeping pills to fall asleep. And the morning trip to bathroom is now possible. And she was actually emotionally brighter and more lively, and she was able to resume her housework again, including gardening. So, and this is what happened when her blood was measured. Her CA 125 measurement just plummets from 10,000 down to 1,500. Okay, so we have another anecdotal testimony I'd like to share with you, and this is a 70-year-old female, terminal colon cancer with metastasis both to liver and bones, and of course was devastated upon receiving the diagnosis, and there was really nothing that could really help her. So she was depending on painkiller and sleeping pills, but then that CA number plummet after taking SAC from 200 down to 50, and after keep taking SAC for 4 months, all the other blood test results showed normal. So this is the kind of effect that SAC therapy has on cancer. I mean, this is, of course, it's not for everybody, because everyone's calcium needs are different. Some patients may have, other than cancer, just tons of other calcium issues, and it may take time. And there are cases that the calcium need is just so great that we couldn't help. But then that there is hope, with SAC. Like to kind of recap about what SAC is. SAC is the world's first ionic calcium delivery system. There's nothing like that out there in the market. This is the only and unique ionic calcium delivery system. We don't say supplement because it just provides very small amount of ionic calcium, enough to trigger responses from our body. We still do need enough calcium from diet to be used for all the other functions in our system, but only ionic calcium is physiologically active and is able to trigger the responses that we are experiencing with SAC. And this is how it looks like. Molecular structure looks similar to regular calcium carbonate, but it employs what's called weak sigma anti-bonding, chemical bonding. And that's why the calcium ion is loosely held into the carbonate group, can be easily detached to be absorbed in ionic form through osmotic pressure and diffusion. It's actually 200 times more soluble in water and has a slightly different physical properties as well. As you can see in this the orbital picture, that it employs very weak sigma antibonding. This bonding is something that we're not going to find in any other molecule naturally. It's very unstable, but we made it stable through 10 years of research and development. And you can see here all the calcium in nature. It has strong bonding, and that's why it doesn't matter what kind of calcium supplements you take, it still has to go through in your system the digestion with the help of peptides and vitamin D to be absorbed as protein bound calcium. And protein bound calcium is standby calcium. If you can utilize it well, good for you. But as we grow older, our ability to utilize it decreases, and we tend to take out the needed ionic calcium by breaking down our own bone. If that happens, our body enters calcification mode, and then your body, including the cells, are going to be overloaded with calcium deposits, and that's going to interfere with the mitochondrial function, and it increases oxidative stress, and also it disrupts the calcium signaling, the most basic form of cell communication, and that's why your cells start doing things that are abnormal, and they could cause a lot of degenerative diseases, including cancer. So moving on, ionic calcium is absorbed directly without the help of ATP, peptides, and vitamin D, and enough through our product to trigger the responses from our body. There's no other ionic calcium out there that could trigger this kind of response from our body. So it defeats the purpose if you cannot put enough to trigger this response. And you can see here, very different from regular calcium intake. Protein bound calcium goes in, inactive. And as we grow older, we lose the capacity to utilize this fully. So it ends up calcifying our body or either gets excreted. SAC calcium in ionic form lasts about 4 hours in our body. And during that time, it triggers very strong bone building response that clears all the displaced calcium, even from cellular level. And it also activates unused protein-bound calcium so that you can fully utilize it. But I'd like to start out by talking about how here calcium wave signaling in cancer cells, right? In cancer cells, before cells become cancerous, there's breakdown of calcium wave signaling, right? So this research says calcium-mediated signaling pathways have also been shown to play important role in carcinogenesis, such as transformation of normal cells to cancerous cells, tumor formation, and growth invasion angiogenesis, and metastasis. And it says since calcium channels or pumps involved in regulating calcium ion signaling pathways, it's altered. It's altered because the cells are trying to adjust to the changed calcium concentration cellular level because of calcification in the first place. So this research is saying that if we can somehow change that the calcium channels back to what it was, maybe it could open up the door for treating cancer or even preventing cancer. And that this is already happening because of SAC therapy. It says here that calcium ion gradients and waves have been shown to be involved in normal developmental processes. The epigenetic theory proposes that altered calcium ion gradients and waves participate in carcinogenesis. So it goes on, and it shows how restoring calcium homeostasis in cells can be a major breakthrough in both prevention and treating cancer. And we have seen that through SAC. And those of you out there wondering, what is calcium oscillation? What is calcium signaling? Look at this. This is how our body, our cells communicate. This complex signals, whether it's amplitude modulation, whether it's frequency modulation, our body is very complex and uses all this delicate signaling to really tell our cells what to do. We're amazingly created. Right? But then this signaling is going to break down because when our bones start to break down and our body needs, the needed ionic calcium, we usually take out more than needed. And the excess either distributed or being deposited in cellular levels. And then when it overloads our cellular reservoirs, then the signaling breaks down and we lose the bandwidth and our cells are doing all kinds of weird stuff. And that's the main cause of degenerative diseases. Until now, there's really no way to reverse that. So when your bone is thinning out, don't just look at the fracture risk, right? But you got to look at cellular calcification, right? You're setting yourself up for the onset of degenerative diseases that are caused by mitochondrial dysfunction, cellular inflammation, oxidative stress, and calcium signaling breakdown. And when you have the degenerative diseases, of course, it's going to have the chronic inflammation that has more calcium issues, right? And you could end up with autoimmune response as well. All of that is connected to low body pH, inflammation, and your body reacting to all these changes that's happening in your system.
Jay,
Number of DNA in each cell.
Jay, if you could, before you move on, so I think the biggest issue here is when you don't have the calcium ion, you don't have proper communication. It's like talking to someone and you're garbled. Like, people who are wearing masks now, it's hard to understand what they're saying. So in the body, on a cellular effect, when you don't have the proper ions within the system, then cells can't communicate properly. Hormones and chemicals can't regulate properly. And then we have deregulation. Is that what you're saying?
That's right. That's exactly happening to actually everybody as we grow older. And simply, there was no way to reverse that. Let's say you are a health conscious person, your diet is good, then you are very active, even though you're older, you're engaged in bone stressing activities, you're doing exercise, all of that, that's great. The calcification is happening, your system slows down. But the thing is, of course, you may be delaying it 5, 10, 15, 20 years, but you're going to get there eventually. So look at this, number of DNA in each cell, about 20,000. And number of cells replaced each day, about 10 billion. So let's say you're doing every day 200 trillion copies. But then if you do not have the ideal concentration of ionic calcium at extracellular, intercellular level, then the communication breaks down. And while the cell is making the copies, errors are introduced. Now, this is one of the major causes of mutation. And these mutations start to pile up, and then the cell can become cancerous. So it's very important that we maintain the pristine the condition of, especially as far as the cellular reservoirs concerned. You want it to be not overloaded with calcium at all, right? And SJC calcium, by triggering the strong osteoblast, can take all that excess calcium out and bring back to your bone to build strong bone, and at the same time, restore that calcium homeostasis. But look at this research. It says a wide range of calcium signaling system deliver the spatial and temporal calcium signal necessary to control specific functions of different cell types. And it says that these homeostatic systems are highly plastic and can undergo a process of phenotypic remodeling. And it says such subtle dysregulation of calcium signals have been linked to some of the major diseases in humans, such as cardiac disease, schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, Alzheimer's disease, all the neurodegenerative diseases, as well as metabolic syndrome, and also cancer. So look at this article from Nature magazine. It says the development of malignant tumors results from deregulated proliferation or inability of cells to undergo apoptotic cell death. Experimental works of the past decade have highlighted the importance of calcium ion in the regulation of apoptosis. Now, apoptosis is cells' self-regulated process of committing suicide if something's wrong. I mean, that's natural process, right? If anything goes wrong, then our cells supposed to go through either repairing process or altogether commit suicide so that healthy cells can reproduce and replace it, right? But then why is it the cancer cells, even though a lot of things are wrong with it, continues to multiply and spreads out? And that's how it kills people, right? That's because that this regulating process is, this apoptotic cell death is not really taking place in cancer cells because the switch is turned off. Right? That's why it says here that perturbation of calcium homeostasis appears to be the key component in the development of several pathological situations. In this case, it's talking about actually the tumor growth, right? And it says sensitivity to apoptosis depends on the ability of cells to transfer calcium from the ER to the mitochondria, right? I mean, these are the two major reservoirs of calcium ion in our cells, right? It has to be able to transfer ionic calcium, but if it's too full, it's overloaded, it can't. That's why our cellular functions are breaking down, because our bone is emptying out and it's deposited in the wrong place. Look at this research. It says most cancers have either mutation within p53 gene or defects in the ability to induce p53. Now, this gene is a tumor suppressor gene, and this is the gene that's responsible for initiating apoptosis, cell suicide. But because this gene is turned off in most of human cancer cells, cannot commit suicide. No wonder it's continuously multiplying and spreading. So this research actually suggested that activation or reintroduction of p53 induces apoptosis in many tumor cells and may provide effective cancer therapy. As a result, it's one of the most well-studied gene in the history of cancer research. So you're going to be able to find tons of study done. You actually Google and type p53 and calcium ion, you're going to be looking at so many research done, right? So here is our another strategy. How can we turn back this switch back on so that cancer cells can commit suicide? Isn't this a brilliant idea? Think about it. Chemotherapy is killing cancer cells from outside, radiation from outside, immunotherapy from outside. All right, but then there is too much collateral damage. Why not? Why not reintroduce or reactivate this kill switch and then have cancer cells commit suicide? That's a brilliant idea. And there has been a lot of studies done. Then they found out that cancer cells actually produce a lot of NF-kappa B protein that actually interferes with the function of p53 by turning it off. But calcium ion could inhibit the synthesis of NF-kappa B protein and then actually freeing p53 to do its job so that cancer cells can commit suicide. Of course, there are cancer cells that are mutated too much so that this cannot be done. But there are a lot of cells that are undergoing the change that could have this opportunity to have this p53 gene turned back on. So that is another brilliant strategy that scientists have already found out that is possible through calcium ion. But until now, simply there was really no way to introduce calcium ion in vitro. Why? Because all the calcium they were putting in goes in protein-bound form. So we're actually overloading the form that we cannot use, our body cannot utilize, right? And it could actually help calcify our body more. Right? So here it is. When ionic calcium is introduced, that it really destroys the dance between p53 and NF-kappa B protein and releases p53 to do its work. And there's another research shows how calcium ion introduced can really help produce nitric oxide, which triggers apoptosis process by activating p53 gene. Another research here shows how we can switch p53 states by calcium. Here's another research shows how the introduction of calcium ion can inhibit these processes and make p53 from less active to more active. On and on, it goes on. You're going to find so many research already done. By the way, calcium ion is probably the most studied nutrient by all the researchers out there because of its function and its involvement in so many processes in our body. Look at this, the role of calcium in human lymphocyte DNA repairability. This study is done to show that here, DNA repairability is reduced in a variety of pathological conditions. And it says, in addition, in some of these diseases, a disturbance in cellular calcium homeostasis occurs, or cytosolic calcium response to various stimuli are impaired. So when there is a destruction or impairment of calcium homeostasis in the cellular level, DNA repairability happens. That's why our cells cannot repair itself when calcium ions are overloaded, right? And I mentioned before how the accumulation of calcium ion inside the walls of mitochondria turns our own mitochondria into the factory of free radicals that can damage DNA, RNA, and proteins. So look at this. Our cells lose the ability to repair because of the disturbance of calcium homeostasis. It also turns into the factory for free radicals that can destroy. So this is why cancer happens. This is actually considered to be the leading cause of aging and cancer. As we grow old, we're setting ourselves up for all these diseases because of our bone emptying out and releasing too much ionic calcium that's displaced in elsewhere. So let's look at this. For those patients that ionic calcium can be helpful, right? You can see how here, when the person is diagnosed with cancer, we have to see beyond just tumor. We have to just see beyond the changes in the blood works. But we have to see in cellular level, the mitochondrial function is destroyed. And also there's a lot of oxidative stress as well as breakdown of calcium signaling, right? Of course, body's acidic, low oxygen delivery, low body temperature, there's inflammation, the compromised immune system, all of that can be there as well. But as you're taking SAC, and as SCC takes that work in cellular level, we can have that recovery by giving our body chance to fight back. Again, SAC does not target cancer itself, but actually it restores the person with cancer. So kind of eliminating the favorable environment for cancer to grow and proliferate and metastasize. Okay? So let's see another clinical example. 50-year-old man. He was a hardworking man, but very stressed out. And then he was also drinking every night. And he ended up with cancer one day, adenoid cancer. And then this is his diagnosis, adenocarcinoma of the parotid gland. And he found out that he had a tumor. The largest one had 3.5 centimeter, and the others were growing and all intertwined with blood vessels and nerves there. He was able to surgically remove the largest tumor partially, but then the rest had to be treated with radiation. But he was scared what would do to him, I guess, because this treatment right in his head is going to cause a lot of side effects, including losing taste buds. But that's about the time that he found out about SAC therapy. Then he went on it, and he was on it for 3-4 months. Then his next scan kind of showed that all the remaining traces of cancer simply they disappeared. And this is his result, his scan. There's nothing there anymore, right? It's amazing. And this case, again, see here is a 72-year-old a female with, I guess, the 4th stage lymphoma. She also had, sorry, you can see how here, the tumor, you can see outside, but then gets smaller and smaller. It drains itself and then heals up. And taken SAC for about a year, 4 times a day. Of course, it has been up and down because she was an older woman. And of course, she had to balance, her body has to balance ionic calcium, where it needs to go, what it needs to do. So she's been very patient. And in the end, her dementia and schizophrenia symptoms also improved drastically. And here is 58-year-old with colorectal 4th stage. I mean, it could not be operated on, but after taking SAC for 45 days, he was excreting these tumors out. And this is just 1/3 of all that came out. Extraordinary cases like this could happen when we're giving our body a chance to recover. Right? This is breast cancer. You can see how the tumor is getting smaller and smaller. In this case, the hormone therapy was also accompanied. But this is what you can see. 35-year-old female with cervical cancer. She tried chemo, radiation, and surgery before, but then nothing seemed to work. And then she went on SIC therapy in May, and 1 month later in June, you can see how the tumor size looks a lot smaller. And then she goes on in August, her white blood cell count is back to normal. Right? And then she did another CT scan in August the 18th and found out that tumor is very small at this point. And then the mid-September, she did true cut biopsy and then declared cancer-free. And this is her diagnosis. The last scan that shows that it's all gone. And you can see here a patient with leukemia, 72-year-old Asian male. And it shows that in a very short period of time, it's a rapid change of his blood works. And we can kind of guess because you know how SAC really increases the bone turnover, and it's regenerating your bone, and all that's happening in the bone, including the bone marrows where there's hematopoietic stem cells are located. And you can see that the blood change is happening here as well, right? Here is leukemia, a young lady. In about a period of 1 month, you can see a lot of changes are happening in her blood works as well, right? 80-year-old male with leukemia as well. In about 1 month, we can see that the blood works is normalizing. Simply, these results are it's really mind-blowing, but it's happening. These are the actual results, and this is what happens when our body can communicate again, right? when SAC calcium can really bring your body pH to ideal. And when your immune system is reactivated, and even when your cancer tumors are rid of its cloak, invisible cloak, and now your cancer cell is under attack under our immune system that is strengthened and emboldened by SAC calcium. Here's a really interesting case. 81-year-old the gentleman with colorectal cancer, liver metastasis, stage 4, as it says, and been on SAC therapy for about 4 or 5 months, and then it shows that the liver is normal, and all the other scan shows is normal. Right? This gentleman actually could not even sit on a chair, but when I saw him, um, he was there standing up and giving testimony before many doctors were gathered in the hospital, and it's simply amazing. Um, and sometimes doctors been kind of surprised that before that the cancer marker gets better, sometimes it shoots up, right? And why is this cancer marker is going up? But then, in many cases, that's because of rapid apoptosis. When cancer cells are dying off rapidly, our body is trying to get rid of all that remaining debris of cancer cells, and you can have this protein actually rising in your serum. So this can happen. But interesting thing is that these patients are feeling much better, and then the scan shows that the tumors are disappearing. Our body has just amazing ability to fight back. If we can just give our body the ideal environment to fight the cancer, this is what we see.
I think the big thing, Jay, is that people need to really get this, is that calcium, the calcium ion, is the main translator, communicator, information provider for the human body, right down to the cellular level, right down to your mitochondria, right down to the RNA, DNA. I mean, even for the pulsing of your heart. So once we actually create balance there, it doesn't matter from A to Z. The calcium ion can affect all diseases by affecting the body by creating balance, correct?
That's right. That's
Yes.
right. And one interesting thing is that SAC, we're not putting any man-made material in our body. It's still it's categorized as supplement, even though we are distributing this only through qualified doctors to treat their patients. Uh, our body has plenty of ionic calcium, and our body has to maintain a good amount of ionic calcium in our blood serum. 50% has to be in ionic calcium form, right? But then just putting a very tiny amount can do this much. So as we age, we do experience ionic calcium deficiency. That's why our body is breaking down our bone. But the first time we found out how to replenish that deficiency. So in a way, this is supplementation, but at the same time, the way it works is it's a therapy because of the power to trigger responses in our body.
And
It
if
is
I
a
can,
supplement.
if I can say something, and so understand everyone that because this is such a powerful therapy, you just can't go online and just purchase the product. You have to be able to call into us and actually call into myself. So you can call our 1-800 number, and then we will discuss the therapy with you, because it is unique therapy, and it's not just a product, and it is so powerful. It deserves our attention and your attention, and it needs to be done properly. Correct, Jay?
That's correct, because the patient will go through so many changes, and they're going to have tons of questions. And like, what about the other medication that they're taking? I mean, should I stop taking this and that, or how does it work? If you'll be experiencing some of the healing reactions, you may be confused if this is side effect, right? Even though there's really no side effect in this. But then there are so many ways to get to manage this, how to take it, what doses to take, and all of this is very important that you be under qualified physician's care.
And that's
So
why we have to keep a open communication with our patients, clients. You know, you can go and you can check out the information. Just go to the Doc of Detox library, click on the SAC calcium guide. You'll get all your information. But the bottom line is once you make that next step and you decide you want to check it out more, it needs to be patient to doctor experience.
yes, yes, of course. And as you can see here, I mean, pancreatic cancer, very painful cancer, but we also had, these are from the patients and the doctors were involved, and it, a lot of changes that were helpful. So I'm fully recovered, right? And maybe probably the last anecdotal testimony. We're getting tons of these anecdotal testimonies from doctors and patients, and it's very encouraging. But here is a thyroid cancer, right? And after taking SAC, not only the patient started feeling much better, but the cancer disappeared to the amazement of the doctor. And then he says, actually, it's the she says the T score minus 4.9. You can see here that's very, very low bone density, severe osteoporosis. And it's like 50% of your bone is empty already, right? And then there's a significant increase while the cancer is going away. So you see, a lot of cancer patients have low bone density and tons of calcification. To reverse that is, I think, probably the most important goal to help our body to overcome cancer. But until now, there was really nothing that could really restore that to kind of turn it around, and even in cellular level, restore that ideal the calcium concentration by emptying out overloaded calcium reservoirs in the cells. So that's something that has become possible with SAC, right? So Maragen, of course, this is the product that we use. It's very difficult to formulate this, actually. A very difficult process. But then this is the only ionic calcium, true ionic calcium delivery system out there that can generate enough ionic calcium to trigger these responses. And as I said in part one already, if you have your cells betraying you and doing its own things, then pretty much you imagine how bad your health is, right? So your health is way down there, rock bottom. SAC can help you really bounce that back. But think about it. It took years and years for you to be diagnosed with cancer. Don't think that anything can turn it around in a month or two. I mean, you may be experiencing some, I guess, improvements symptom-wise, but then for your body to really turn around, that's going to take time. So even if, let's say, you do respond favorably to SH therapy, and then you feel like you're back to normal, some of our patients, they want to really start playing golf again and all that. And I asked them to slow down, right? Because all those activities require ionic calcium. And there are tons of things for ionic calcium to do at the same time that it is doing something for your cancer. So even if some of the symptoms disappear and you feel much better, we ask that you continue to take it until your bone density is back to normal. And when that happens, that means it's pretty much an indication that the calcification has pretty much cleared up in your system. And that's when we recommend that you go on the maintenance doses. But when the time is and what dose that is strictly really under your physician's care. So that's why it has to go through qualified physicians like Dr. Wolfe himself.
Thank you, Jay. So, if everybody could get this, it's really important is that, for years and years, science has said if somebody could just develop a therapy where they could actually get the ion calcium to work. Well, they said it was impossible, and it's actually been done. But understand something, that comes with taking anything like a therapy like this, also comes along with taking responsibility for what we eat, think, and drink. I mean, we need to really take a look at our life. And, there's so much going on in life, like Jay was saying. I mean, the extra stress that's going on in life and the toxins and You know, we have to understand something that we've got to take our health back. What do you think, Jay?
That's right. I mean, SHC therapy has to be part of a more holistic approach of treatment that includes the diet and then your lifestyle and all these things. The things that needs to be stopped has to be stopped. The amount of stress you're experiencing is all that has to be adjusted. Uh, we cannot just continue the same way that we're living our lives that actually started the cancer in the first place, and then thinking that taking some miracle supplement can reverse all that. It just doesn't happen that way. That's why Dr. Wolfe really offers really the holistic way for health, and a lot of his recommendations actually go together with SHC therapy, and I highly recommend it.
Thank you, Jay. Jay, thanks for joining us. And is there anything that you would like to leave our audience with?
Sure. The last thing I want to say that is you probably saw in part one how that you could be experiencing ups and downs in SSC therapy. Again, this is not a targeted therapy. It's not just going after the symptoms of cancer, but there's so many things that need to be addressed for your calcium homeostasis to be restored. If you are experiencing some positive effects of taking SAC, even though that you may be experiencing downs in some other areas in your, symptoms, we definitely recommend that you continue. You continue as long as it gives you some benefit, and don't give up, and keep communicating with Dr. Wolf of all the changes that are happening while you're taking SSC therapy, and we're really, really hoping that that you get a second chance.
Thank you, Jay.
Thank you.
And I want to thank everybody for joining me and understand something. We've got conversations and interviews with Jay on diabetes and calcium ion therapy, osteoporosis, okay, dental issues, okay, autism. So take a look into our library at the SAC Calcium Guide in the library. Click on there, and you're going to see situations where we talk about how ionic calcium works on such a broad scale because it's not really targeting any specific disease. It's targeting creating cellular balance, mitochondrial repair, proper pH balance. So understand, and it's also one of the main things for communicating and distributing information right down to the cellular level. So I want to thank everybody for joining me for part two. And like I said, go to SAC Calcium Guide, click on there. And if you like the information, then call the 800 number and they'll patch you through to me, and we'll actually talk about this and find out if it is beneficial or something that you should look into. Okay? Again, thank you for joining me, everyone. And know this, that our personal treatment and trainings are now going on. You can come to the Dock of Detox in Kelowna, British Columbia, where you can stay in one of our beautiful condos overlooking the lake and the vineyards. Or we'll actually send a master trainer to you, and they'll teach you how to do the Wolfe non-surgical so you and your family can come together, learn how to eat, drink, think, okay, and do our personal treatment and training. And maybe you just want to get a consult. Check out our master consultants and get a perfect day consultation. All right. If you want to know our events, go to Dock of Detox events page and our upcoming courses. Okay. The next course we'll be doing will be in January. Okay. So January of this year. And it will be on the 9th of January, and it'll be running to the 21st of January. And that'll be a combined certification. That'll be the non-surgical and the whole life coach certification. Our classes are really small, so you'll want to log in and take a look at itioh.com and then call me if you have any questions. We're here to answer all your questions. And then we're going to be in Ixtapa, Mexico, where we're going to be doing some really long and really in-depth trainings. We're going to Ixtapa Palace. It's called the World Healing and Training Center, and that'll be happening in the new year of 2021. And I want to thank everybody again for joining me here today, and have the perfect day. And if you'd like to get my book, Healthy to 100, you can call in and we'll send it to you free. You just pay the shipping. And don't forget, every Monday I do a live Q&A at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So don't hesitate. You can join us in sending your questions live. And don't forget, we're on YouTube, Facebook, and also make sure that if you want, you can also download any of my shows, okay? And you can just go to iTunes, Spotify, or SoundCloud. And if you go to YouTube, you'll find out that all our shows are time-stamped, okay? So you can go directly to the question or to the topic of any show that you want so that you don't have to watch the whole show if you don't want. God bless everyone. Take your power back. Better still, stop giving it away. 3, 2, 1. Together we got this. Have a beautiful day. If you're looking for life-saving and life-changing information, well, you've come to the right place. Don't forget to click and subscribe. Stay connected.